Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Amen. I said, amen, brother. And have the choir ready to sing in the background, if you would, Gina. I'm tired of being told that I have to spread the wealth to people who don't have my work ethic. I'm tired of being told the government will take the money I earned, by force if necessary, and give it to people too lazy to earn it. Amen. I'm tired of this. How about you? That's worth a hallelujah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
She's right on time. Good morning. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. Good morning. There you go. Kate Smith and God Bless America. Howdy do. I'm Zeb Bell. Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers, including Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. And don't forget our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. And right now, here she is. I tell you what, she is so organized, so well prepared. The barn is painted. The hair is curled. Good morning.
Well, good morning, sunshine. How are you doing today?
Gina Jameson, always prepared.
Always.
I am tired. I am sleepy. I am stiff. I am sore. But I absolutely love this weather, and I'm prepared for a beautiful day.
Well, I think that Michael's going to tell us how nice it's going to be today and through the weekend, and I think you might want to wear some sunscreen.
Oh, I think I will. Do we have a pledger?
We have Rotten On for the Pledge and Mr. Michael Rogers on.
Sounds good to me. I just love these people. Good morning, sir. Please give us the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, thank you, Dal, and you and your wife have a wonderful weekend, okay?
You too.
All right, God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, let's get the weather. It sounds like it's going to be fantabulous. Here is MichaelRogersWeather.com.
Fantabulous, huh? How many ways can you describe sunny? I mean, let's think about this for a minute. It's going to be sunny all the way through the weekend. You got your chores done. Everybody's going out golfing. See some folks on the Snake River. Probably take a drive out north, Shoshone, Sun Valley. Look at the mountains. How many ways can you say that? How many? There's only actually 2 words that's going to describe our weather all the way through the weekend. It's going to be absolutely mostly sunny. Now, I know that's 3 words, but I don't need TV anymore, so I can do it the way I want. But it's going to be like that. And you're going to see nice, warm temperatures. And when you come back to work on Monday and you're going to go like, oh, I had such a great weekend. I'm tired. I don't feel like it. You know, you don't have to come to work Monday. Take it off. It's going to be nice. All the way through the 80s, 50s for the overnight low. I'll see you over the weekend. I met a couple from Rexburg, Idaho, up here in Alaska. Took them out to dinner last night. They were so fascinated that the sun didn't go down until after 11 o'clock, about 11:30. They're having themselves a good time. They went, oh, how's the weather in Idaho? And I said, oh, it's going to be absolutely mostly sunny. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
Very well done. Excellent weather forecast from MichaelRogersWeather.com, one of his best. And we thank him very much. Thank you, Michael. Sounds like a great couple of days coming up. Hey, it's time to sell some cattle. Bring in Merv May, would you please?
All right, get the steer calves here to get all 31, 31, 30.
That is the chant of the world's best auctioneer, in my opinion, Merv May over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, along with his buddy Lance Udy. They're all set with the whole crew for the big sale today, starting at 10:30. And for more information on the run, be sure and give them a call at 678-9411. They're going to have Bill Wickles coming off the hill from Elba, and he's bringing down 40 head of 5 to 600-pound cattle. And a good bunch of cattle coming out of Glens Ferry, 60 head of mixed cows and yearlings. And they've got butcher cows coming in from Bootjack Dairy over at Shoshone, and TLK Dairy Mountain Home, Moo Mountain Dairy at the Albion Grade, and Ray Sorensen over at Howe, Utah. Hello, Ray, bringing in some good butcher cows. And by the way, as you know, June is Dairy Month, and the Burley Livestock Sale Yard wants to say thank you to all the dairy industry for being a major part of Idaho's economy. 10:30 starting sale time at Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, 678-9411. Hey, Merv, sell those steers.
All right, get the steer calves here to get all 31, 31, 32, 2 and a half, 3 and a half, 134, 4 and a half, 5 and a half, 135, 50, 135 and a half, $7.35. Does that bell get bottom again?
I know I do. Hey, Gina, get on the microphone for a minute, because I got to tell you something that's just going to transpire. We just finalized everything. We are going to be, and you're going to be right around the corner, and I'd love to have you come by and be with us on June 16th, Monday, June 16th, we're going to be doing a live remote broadcast from Snyder's Surplus, their grand opening.
Ooh, yay!
And that's at 112 South, 200 West, and I'm telling you, we're going to have a ball over there. There's going to be a blowout sale. They're going to have hamburgers, hot dogs, everything, food cooked by the Rupert POWMIA, and it's a brand new store, new merchandise, friendly service at Snyder's Surplus. June 16th, grand opening, and we're going to be doing a remote. So we want you to come over and be with us.
I can't be there and here at the same time. But
now, wait a minute. You're Wonder Woman.
If I could honestly split myself in two, I so would. I would get so much done.
Why, a lot of people say, I wonder about that woman.
A lot of people do that.
I know. Hey, listen, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. It's hard to believe it's almost Father's Day, and there's a couple of businesses here I want to just relate to you that have everything you could possibly want for Daddy's Day. That's right. Mad River Laser. Love these people. Nicole and the whole crew at 700 South Oneida in Rupert. They've got the buck knives. Buck knives. And everybody wants a good knife. Well, they've got the buck knives. 10% off if you mention you heard it on my program. And free laser engraving with their name. Oh, yeah. You better get in there and check it out. Excuse me. They've got all the T-shirts and all the caps. Everything. This is quite a place. Mad River Laser, 700 South Oneida in Rupert. And the Book Plaza, 222 West 11th Street in Burley. Colonel Dale has outdone himself. He's got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of books. As a matter of fact, my wife Deanne's going to go over there and start counting. And they've got all the books for your dad or your hubby. So be sure and stop in to the Book Plaza, 222 West 11th Street in Burley. All right, let's get some calls in here now. Would you please give me a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We are going to give away some tickets to the Classics on the Grass in just a moment, but as Gina so thoughtfully reminds me, and believe me, I appreciate it, coffee cup. A tip of the coffee cup this morning goes out to really dear friends, George and Donna Mass. Tip of the coffee cup to those good folks, and also a tip of the coffee cup to Leland Snyder over at Snyder's, along with all the other folks. And so if we could have that great big slurp, Gina, take it away.
That is so good.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much. Now, with that tip of the coffee cup, let's give away a ticket. Now, this question is so easy, and I know the phone lines are going to light up right away. And the tickets are Classics on the Grass Car Show. It's going to be the 28th annual car show. It's this coming weekend, June 7th and 8th at the Cassia County Fairgrounds. Gates are open Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday 10 to 5. Here we go. Here's the question. If you want to win a couple of tickets and go to the station and pick them up, here's the question. So easy this morning. On the TV series Gunsmoke, which leg was Chester's bad leg? Chester walked with a limp. Which leg was Chester's bad leg? 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Hurry and give me a call. Which leg was Chester's bad leg? And there was a reason for it. Okay? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
I believe that was his right one.
And why do you say his right leg?
Well, it'd be kind of hard to get on a horse with a stiff left leg.
You know, that's one of the reasons why, and in the excerpts of TV history, when they wrote the script for Chester, they had to change it a little bit because originally, as I've been told, they had his left leg as being the crippled left leg, and he couldn't get on his big sorrel strip-faced horse and ride around with Matt Dillon, so they had to change it and put it on his right leg. Who's calling?
Larry Bean.
Larry Bing, get out to that station. You have 2 tickets for Classics on the Grass, and thank you for calling this morning, okay?
Thank you, Jeff.
You betcha. And Gina, if you'd put his name down for 2 tickets, I'd appreciate it for the Classics on the Grass. Yep, Chester's right leg was the leg that was all stiff and sore and caused him a lot of fame. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. A lot of things going on at Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. I've just been handed they're going to have an antique tractor show coming up, and that's going to be a little bit later on in this month. As a matter of fact, I believe it's going to be on June 20th and 21st right over there at Valley White Home and Ranch, and they're going to have all kinds of specials and everything else. Holy buckets, you don't want to lose sight of this. This is going to be quite a deal, an antique tractor show right over there in Rupert at Valley White Home and Ranch, along with all your feed needs and your Gallagher fencing, everything for 4-H supplies. Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. You get over and see the good folks at Valley Wide today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell.
Yes, sir.
I just thought I'd pass on a little information to anybody interested in going to the car show.
All right, Jimmy, go ahead, please.
Time spent at a car show is not deducted from one's lifespan.
All right, words of wisdom from up on the Mount of Mount Jimmy. I like that one. It's going to be a good car show. I understand you're going to have everything there, including cars, boats, motorcycles, tractors, bicycles, pedal cars, all kinds of things, right?
Whatever anybody wants to bring, they're welcome.
Well, take some pictures. I'm going to be out of town, but take some pictures and let me see what they look like.
Always out of town.
Well, I'm always out of my mind, too, but I try to get back in there. I hope it's a great, big success, Jimmy, and I want to say thank you for everything you've done to help.
Oh, we want to thank you for all the help and promoting it also.
Well,
good family.
I just appreciate you and your wife and everybody else connected. I hope it's a very successful weekend. It looks like the weather is going to treat you famously.
Yes, if it isn't car show weather, I don't know what is.
All right. Well, my dear friend Jimmy Flowers and everybody connected with Classics on the Grass, Cassia County Fairgrounds this weekend. Excellent car show. Jimmy, thank you so much.
Thank you, and God bless.
All right, my friend. Thank you kindly. Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people turn out for that, and it's going to be really interesting to see all the patience and the elbow grease and these beautiful, beautiful cars. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Oh, my goodness. Number to call, 678-0459. Cord ends for every piece of equipment that needs power. And if you need an education in cord ends, Keith will give you the instructional course called Cordology. He knows all about it. Fuses 1 to 600 amps, and of course, they've got light bulbs. They got everything over there for you for all your electrical needs, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. It's Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. You stop in and see those good folks today. You know, there is just an awful lot going on. And I was talking to some folks last night, and also again this morning back in New York and Washington, D.C. This story and how it unfolds about Bowe Bergdahl and the President Obama and the administration and our military, it just keeps going on and on and on. It's getting much bigger every day. And there are no final statements to be made yet because there's so many unanswered questions. I'm not going to relate who right now because they've asked me to kind of keep their name out of the conversation until possibly next week on the program. We're going to have the person on that I was talking to. There are many new investigations that are starting up into the family, into the military, into what Obama did. I mean, there are people that are just absolutely questioning why. Why? And there are so many new allegations coming out. And terminology that's being thrown around, deserter, traitor, collaborator, teacher, all these things have been used. And I don't know what your feelings are, but I really am glad, and I mean this, that the city of Haley has decided to cancel the Bowe is Back event. I think for security reasons, I think for safety, and I think for acknowledging there's still too much to not know and find out about. I'm glad Haley canceled that welcome back party. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad too, but last night I got so damn mad at that Hannity, I wanted to reach through the screen and slap him upside the face.
Why is that?
Well, he had this girl on, the woman, that she lost her husband there.
Yeah.
Looking for Bergdahl and that. And Sean was sitting there, you know how he does it, he just quiz and quiz and quiz and keeps repeating himself. Well, he had the audacity to stand there on the TV and ask that girl, well, what did you think when you saw your husband's body?
Yeah,
Lord, I came out of my chair like a gut-shot cougar.
I saw it, and I wanted you to explain your position on it. I was appalled by it, and I thought it was a very amateuristic interview. I don't care what people think out in the audience of interviews I do, but I've been complimented by politicians all the way to actors that we do a very good job on asking questions. That was inappropriate, I thought, because she was so nervous. You could tell that she was very, very uncomfortable in front of the camera, and I thought that it was a termination point way far before they did. I mean, she should have been let off the hook, and Hannity should have excused her. It was a very, very poor and tactless interview, and not necessary last night.
It sure as hell was, and I tell you, I wish somebody walk up and tell Hannity, learn to do a damn interview and knock that crap off, because that girl was having a hard time holding it together.
Yeah, she was...
Something like that stupid question.
Yeah, it was very inappropriate and very not tastefully done. Now, here's something that I think Hannity should have done, and his helpers behind the scenes should have done, is maybe given her some advance notice as to the topical interest of questions that Hannity was going to ask. I don't think that was done. She was stymied. She was not a good speaker. She was scared. Her emotions took over. There were a lot of pauses, and yet I thought Hannity let it go way too long. There is a time to put the boat out of the water, and he was past time.
Yeah, him and Greta's both at the same time.
Yeah. Al, I appreciate your comments as always. Thank you.
You bet.
You bet. Have a good one yourself. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. My opinion of Bergdahl, or whatever his name is he was not in prison. He was over there training for his future actions.
You know, Helen...
Look at his dad, and you know what he was over there for.
Well, Helen, let's be gracious here. Hold on just a minute, and I think you'll agree with me. We don't know all the facts, and there are many allegations going out that, yes, Bergdahl was teaching the Taliban how to possibly take mobile phones and turn them into IEDs. There are so many allegations that we have to report on them, but yet I'm not going to definitively say he was or he did. I think you can appreciate where I'm coming from. But I absolutely am very questioning. I'm very questioning about the dad and some of the messages that were sent over to his son while in the Middle East. I'm not going to give up on this story for a long time because I think we need to know who these people are, the Bergdahls, and also why the government treated them like they did.
Right. I mean, it looks like it was all pre-planned. Well, down to the last thing.
I'm there again, Helen. I'm not going to argue with you because, as you know, I think there's so many allegations that need answers. And here's something to be really worried about, Helen. Our government has lied repeatedly about many stories, including this one. And I do not want the State Department or the Department of Defense with the absolute howdy-doody atmosphere of Chuck Hagel. I don't want them to just push this under the rug.
They're going to try.
I'm afraid you're right.
They're going to try.
God bless you, Helen.
On the stick.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Hey, don't forget Denny's Restaurant. Oh, my. I'm just absolutely thinking about those omelets. I'm thinking about all those Grand Slams. I'm thinking about everything there. I love the food. People are fantastic. Thomas, Terry, the whole crew. Wow. They really care for you. You walk in the door, you feel like you're at home. Yes, you do. And they've got gift cards like I've been telling you. What a great gift to give somebody to go to Denny's. Man, that shows your love, compassion, and caring. You'd better get a hold of Denny's today. Stop over there and enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Oh, my, it's the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. You're going to love it. 611 Overland and Burley, Denny's Restaurant. And we are going to be going back over there again on the 19th for our next lunch bunch at Denny's Restaurant. All right, give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. The worst part of the Bergdahl story, and I'm going to throw this out there right now, and I want you to call me after this little break we've got coming up, is that our government, and this has been verified. I'm not giving anything that's a story or not already been concerned with anybody else. The government has tried to do this. They're trying to discredit our soldiers. And that really offended me last night. Some of the conversations that soldiers have had about Bowe Bergdahl, some of the opinions they've had about Bowe Bergdahl have been discredited by our government, basically calling them liars. The one girl at the State Department, and she was handling some of the interviews at a press conference, blonde hair, wears black high-rimmed glasses, absolutely repugnant in her attitude towards the reporters asking questions. And basically, as I said, calling the military and our soldiers liars. This really offends me. We're going to talk more about that in just a few minutes. I understand that my old buddy Jim McCall is ready to go. Travel Lube Supply. Holy smokes, Jim, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. Doing great.
What's happening at Travel Lube Supply today on a Thursday that's absolutely beautiful?
Don't forget, we do clean air filters. And we're also cleaning diesel exhaust filters now. So if you have one of those diesel vehicles with those on it, get in touch with us. We can help you save some money on them.
Okay.
Call and 50% off anything in the store if you tell Heather that I told you this on the radio.
Wait a minute, 50% off anything in the store if they mention my name?
Yep.
Holy smoke!
Do that today.
50%, ladies and gentlemen, today. 50%. I'm talking 50 and then a percentage sign. 50% off if you just mention my name. Now, that's a way to save money. And, boy, I'm telling you, you better get a hold of Travel Lube Supply. What should they do? They got to stop in, or can they call? What do you want done, Jim?
Well, come on in. We've got a nice store here at the place. Come in and check it out and see what we have. And today only 50% off.
Well, we're gonna send everybody in at Travel Lube Supply, 1050 West, 203 South of Hayburn, 438-8730. The number to call. 50% off anything in the store today. If you mention my name, hurry up! What are you waiting for, Jim McCall? Get away from the door! It's gonna come caving in on you.
All right, we're waiting.
All right, Jim. God bless you, man. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
We'll see you.
You betcha. 50% off anything in the store at Travel Lube Supply if you mention my name. Now, folks, I'm saving you money. Get over there. It's time quickly for the Capital Press Ag Minute. We'll be back with more right after this good word.
Today's Ag Minute brought to you by the Capital Press, the West Ag Weekly.
U.S. Dairy Export Council and National Milk Producers Federation, which represents the majority of the U.S. dairy farmers and processors, have threatened to pull their support for the pending Trans-Pacific Trade, or TPP, agreement. At issue is comprehensive market access for U.S. dairy exports in Japan and Canada. These countries have thus far refused to follow through on their pledges to provide that access when they join the TPP talks, according to the two organizations. The groups have asked U.S. Trade Representative Michael Foreman and the USDA Secretary Tom Vilsack to insist Japan and Canada aren't living up to their ambitious trade goals they obligated themselves to upon joining the negotiations.
For more agriculture news and information, turn to the West Ag Weekly, the Capital Press, and CapitalPress.com.
Mighty fine folks at the Capital Press. What a great newspaper. I get a lot of my information out of there. Hey, don't forget Four Paws Bed and Bath. I want to reiterate that they're going to have a kids canine camp. This is fantastic. Kathy and the crew over there at Four Paws Bed and Bath. It's going to be Saturday, June 14th from 10 to 4. The cost is $45 for one child, half price on the second child in the same family. You've got to register by June 9th, and they're going to teach how to groom your dog, obedience classes, games, lunch, all kinds of really hands-on things. This is great for kids to learn all about dog obedience and everything. That is fantastic. Four Paws Bed and Bath, 370 West, 200 South of Rupert, 438-4444. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Well, good morning, Deb. How are you?
I'm fantastic. What's going on?
Hey, just letting everybody know, they found our Jeep that was stolen from us in April.
Oh.
And appreciate those who kept the lookout and reported anything suspicious.
Oh, go ahead, Roddy. Don't stop.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you. I thought I got disconnected.
No.
Anyway, they found it in Idaho Falls. We got it back. Just thanks for all those people who helped. And if you're on Facebook and see pictures of our tag or know what it looks like, give us a call. You know, I guess we just go from there.
All right, well,
thanks again.
May I suggest you take a severe course in locking everything up?
Yeah, we kind of got around to that after this.
All right. It's a lot easier to lock it up than it is to look for it. So go ahead and God bless you. I appreciate your call this morning, Riley. Thank you. All right, take care. Have a good day. He's the one that had the Jeep stolen, and they found it. You know, folks, we do not live in a perfect place. Nobody lives in a perfect place. And I know people that don't lock things up. I know people that leave the windows down. I know that people just put stuff in the car, and they go, oh, well, you know, it should be safe. No, we don't live in that kind of a world anymore. It's a shame, but you got to lock it up. You've got to lock it up. You've got to keep the keys on you. And I can't stress this enough. We all we hear stories every day of people, oh, they stole my car. Oh, they stole this. Well, was it locked up? No. Well, start locking things up. Make it tougher on the bad guys. Okay? 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. President Obama, this is my opinion. If you disagree, you know I do not like the man. You know I do not respect the man. You know I don't like his presidency. I don't like anything about him. I think he will go down in history as one of the, if not the most scandalous presidents that ever sat in the Oval Office, and I think his administration the most amateuristic that ever tried to run a country. There. I've said it. It has nothing to do with race. I don't need the likes of the stupidity of Harry Reid saying that everything against the president is a racist remark, and if the Democrats want to throw that at me again, go ahead. Throw your best fastball because it's going to get hit out of the park. President Obama broke the law. I have talked to, personally, constitutional judges. I've talked and listened to people that know much more about our Constitution and law than I ever will. And President Obama has broken the law. He has superseded Congress and acted as a dictator. There. I'm going to come right out and say it. He released deadly combatants that are enemies of this country and killers. And he has spent our tax dollars, moving them back to Qatar, where, and this is such a joke, Qatar is going to, quote unquote, watch them for a year. Oh, I'll bet that put the fear in their hearts. They are going to be watched for a year. Do you mean to tell me that 5 of the most heinous killers in the terrorist movement, the Muslim terrorist movement, are going to be fearful of not going someplace, not talking to somebody because they're being watched by the country of Qatar? Wow. So basically, when I say he broke the law, he assisted enemies of our country, and those are treasonous actions. Yeah, he turned the bad guys loose to come back and possibly, and very most likely, inflict pain and killing on our country and others in the future. How can you stand for this? And saying that, well, Bowe Bergdahl was near death, and so we had to act quickly. I don't know how many of you saw the video of Bowe Bergdahl sitting in the back of that little bitty pickup and then being issued out of the pickup and then taken over to the helicopter. He did not look like angels were going to be opening a door for him and letting him in like he was on death's doorstep. No way. He walked a heck of a lot better than I do. Looked better as far as standing straight and tall. He didn't have that pallor. He had... I just am absolutely incensed that we have been misled, or better yet, lied to. Has anybody out there seen the film? And then the other thing that strikes me is, today, under the cloak of hardly any media saying anything, Guantanamo Bay is going to release another Muslim killer. Why? Tweets that said, well, I'm working on getting all of the Guantanamo Bay prisoners released. Gee, that came from the dad, Robert Bergdahl, supposedly, on his Twitter account. Well, who's he working with? How's he working with the government? Who else is enfolding in this problem so that we can move more of these killers out of Guantanamo? Is this a movement, ladies and gentlemen, to eventually close down the prison as Obama wanted to when he first took over office? Let's just turn the bad guys loose. How could any sensible voter/taxpayer vote for these people to stay in control in November? Please answer that question to me. How could any sensible, caring for America and its values and what it's worth, voter-taxpayer, vote for these people to stay in control again in November and possibly again in 2016? You gotta be out of your minds. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I just can't believe this. I honestly, of all the things I've ever seen, this story, and I've talked to many, many people. As a matter of fact, earlier this morning, I was on the phone with terror expert in Washington, D.C., Ryan Morrow. Ryan has been doing double duty the last couple of days on all the networks and all the talk shows, coming on and talking about the terrorists and talking about the release of these 5 and talking about the effects that it may cause with terrorism around the world. And I called him and I said, Ryan, please, can you come on my program this morning and discuss what's going on or not going on? And he said, Zeb, I'd like to this morning, but I absolutely can't. My schedule is that I have to testify here and I've got to go over here, and he's going to come on the program next week. But boy, I mean, they are gathering facts and figures about what's going on with these 5 that are released, this other one that's going to be released this morning. And to be quite honest with you, there's a lot of facts and figures and stories that are going on still about the Bergdahls. People want to know more, and people should know more. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget Berry Equipment and Rental. I'm telling you, they are busy. They've got 3 locations on Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, along with South Lincoln and Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Looking to buy, looking to rent, they've got all your equipment. They have got all the big Doosan loaders and excavators. They've got all the Coyote tractors. They got all the Bobcats. They've got all the Walker mowers. I tell you what, they are ready to serve you right now. And boy, oh boy, 3 locations around the valley, they're busy. Old Eli says, man, they're just saying, open the door, come on in, we will deal with you. Absolutely. Berry Equipment and Rental, Addison Avenue West, Twin Falls, South Lincoln, Jerome, and Highway 30 going right there into Burley. Berry Equipment and Rental. Don't hesitate to call me on this. We need to speak out and we need to ask questions. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. Remember the story about the Colorado bakery that was forced to and coerced to bake a wedding cake for 2 gay men? I had this on the program many times with the Alliance Defending Freedom. And it looks like the state of Colorado and the attorneys for these 2 gay men are going to really push and promote the fact that they want to go after this wedding shop, this cake wedding shop, and basically destroy their business. Now, the gist of the story is that when these 2 gay men went in and demanded a cake, the owner said, well, listen, respectfully, no, that's against my religious beliefs, and I'm not going to bake you a cake. However, down the street, so-and-so, well, they made recommendations who else might help them, etc. But, no, the gays want to control everything. They want to go in and just bring this guy and his wife down to their knees and break their business. Well, they should have the right to refuse service to anybody. But no. Now the government is saying, and listen to this, that this husband and wife that own this bakery, even though they have decided to quit baking wedding cakes all the way around for anybody so that they don't have this hassle, the government is telling them that they have to attend sensitivity training. They have to attend sensitivity training. You either start believing our way or else. And then also on a quarterly basis through the year, they're going to have somebody come in and examine their business for anti-discriminatory methods. This is America? Think about it. You don't have a right to your own opinion. You don't have a right to refuse service. You don't have a right to your religious beliefs. And they're going to be forced and coerced into going to sensitivity training. I wouldn't go. No. And then be examined quarterly for anti-discriminatory methods? Holy cow. What do you think about this? In the land of the free, and the home of the brave. Wow. You're not calling. I'm worried. Call me, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I know you will, so I'll have a Michael Rogers weather update, and then I'll take your call. Good morning. Here's Michael Rogers weather.
Hi, everybody. Michael Rogers from MichaelRogersWeather.com. How many ways can you say it's going to be sunny for the next 7 to 10 days? How many ways? How many ways? You know, I get Gina to sit up there and just go, sunny, 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 sunny. Yeah, she sounds pretty good, too. Look for a high today, pretty much in the 80s, all the way across the board. And I want you to have yourself a great weekend. And if you find any way to absolutely say how many ways you can say sunny, feel free to do so. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
There you go, Michael Rogers weather. Thank you, right here on Zeb at the Ranch. Okay, where's my call? I promised you. Oh, my goodness sakes, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Gina's maybe having a change of thought or a different pattern of thought on this. Gina, let me ask you, what would you feel like if you owned a business and all of a sudden they came in and said, you will take sensitivity training courses and we will come back and examine you on a quarterly basis?
I would say no way, and I would tell them in multiple different ways that they're number one.
I would just assume that you don't be any more descriptive than what you have been.
You know, I think that I think it's ludicrous. You know, like we're not allowed to have our opinion anymore. We're not allowed to have a belief system. We are not allowed to express that belief system because it might offend somebody.
All right,
I'm sorry, but that's my right. I have the right to offend, just like you have the right to offend.
Amen.
Everybody has the right to be offended.
You know, here's the deal. I will never, and I've underlined this on the program, I will never accept that lifestyle as normal because I believe in the Bible. I believe in what the Bible says, and I believe that it's an abnormal and very abhorrent sin. Now, that's not to say anything about the person or wish any ill will to the person whatsoever. I don't like that lifestyle, and I will never abide by it. I will never have somebody say that I have to go. I, on behalf of this program, have to attend sensitivity training. All that is a Gestapo way of saying you will think our way and not have individual thought.
Yeah, and to that I say, no way. Ain't happening, bud.
And then all of a sudden later on 4 times during the year, you hear the little doorbell ring, and you get up and answer the doorbell, and you say, oh, hello, they're here again for an examination of anti-discriminatory methods. I'm not going to have some kook and weirdo from the government coming in and say, well, did you do this? We've had reports you did this, and put a check mark over here. Oh, boy, it looks like you've got to go in for another sensitivity training course. Gina, this is America.
I know, and it's crazy that, yeah, and here's the thing, and you just said it, they're no longer in business, so why in the heck does it matter?
They're not making wedding cakes. Now, they kept the cookie business. They've done other things, but they're not going to bake the wedding cakes because they don't want to end up in this mess again. But they're still subject to sensitivity training. They're demanding they do it on behalf of their business and to be examined quarterly. How do you run an exam? Do you go in and you have somebody maybe that doesn't like them file a complaint, and then they go in and they say, well, we've had this complaint that you're still discriminating. I mean, they could be set up so easy to run them completely out of business.
And maybe that's maybe that's what they're trying to do. Now you've got 2 phone calls.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Caller number 1. I'm not going to take any doggone sensitivity training. Are you?
Heck no. Why should I? I was born to be free. I was born to have my own, encouraged to have my own thoughts and my own convictions. I ain't going to change them. They're mine. That makes me me.
That's right. And, you know, even if, and I'm saying this if, and I'm not relating it to you, me, or anyone else, even if your opinions are considered out in left field, that is your right in a free-speaking country, America. Thank you for your attitude on this. I appreciate it.
You know, that's the thing about it. You get these soldiers out there dying for people to have the right to think and feel the way they want to feel. that's fine, but they have no right to come and tell me, you, or anybody else that the way we think is wrong.
Absolutely. Riley, I got to get some more calls. Appreciate you calling in on this. Thank you. Caller number 2, go ahead, please.
Only thing I got to say is they need to put their big girl and big boy pants on.
Well, okay, explain that. I agree with your concept, but explain what you mean.
Quit being so sensitive. I mean, so we say something that they don't like. They say stuff that we don't like.
That's right.
Get all up in a roar and want to change them.
Doug, it's not a double-edged sword. It's either their way or no way. That's what's happening, and most people can't see that or understand it. You do. I mean, you said, if I say something, they're going to come after me. But if they say something against us as heterosexuals and against us as family people, they can go ahead and say whatever they want. It's not the double-edged sword it should be.
Well, it should be, and it needs to be. It needs to cut both directions. If they don't want us to say anything, then by George, they need to live by their own rules.
Well, I'm going to ask you this question. I know I'm going to take some heat over this because I'm not a fan of what happened with the Los Angeles Clippers owner Sterling. I'm not advocating what he said was right. I'm not advocating that the verbiage was correct. I'm not advocating racism. But here's the caveat. Doug, he said it in the privacy of his own home, and now he stands to lose his business and a lot more. Is that what it's coming to, Doug, that we in our own homes, on our own personal property, can't say the way we feel?
That's what they want it to be, Zeb, and we need to stand up and fight to keep it. We need to stand up and fight, be able to keep our own minds, think the way we want to think. As long as it doesn't physically hurt anybody, I mean, words are words. That's how you feel.
Yeah, but words are words, and you have a right to your own emotions and your own thought. And what I'm saying is, and I don't know about you, you might be perfect. I'm not. There are many, many times on my property, in my home, in my barn, wherever, that I have said things that could be construed possibly by the speech and thought police as, we got to go get this guy. You've got to go have sensitivity training. We're going to examine you. Doug, wait a minute. Sterling was guilty of nothing more of relating his own personal thoughts on his own property, and now the man is going to be losing his own ability to make a living with a basketball team or whatever. That's not right.
That isn't right. That is not, like you say, I don't condone what he said. I don't believe the same way he believes.
Yep.
But when you're in the privacy of your own home, it shouldn't matter what you say. And also, I think the gal that recorded that done it for someone else to set him up.
Well, not only that, but it was a recording.
It was illegal to record it.
That's exactly right. That's the point. It was illegal. In the state of California especially, the other party has to know that they're being taped, and that conversation should have been thrown out of court. I'm not advocating Sterling at all. I'm not advocating racism at all. All I'm saying is I don't care if it's about the homosexual agenda. I don't care if it's about racism. I don't care if it's something about Obama. A lot of things about Obama. I don't care what it is on my private property in the privacy of my home. What I say is nobody else's business, and to lose my business or to have people subject me to possible thought police and word police that might find me. Doug, what happened to the First Amendment?
They're trying to get rid of it. And I can't understand why that gal hasn't been brought up on charges, because it was illegal in California. And she hasn't even been brought up on any charges.
I know. I appreciate your call. Thank you, Doug. I got to get a commercial in. Thank you, my dear friend. Appreciate it. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Les Schwab, Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Wow. I mean, I'm so blessed to have them as our major corporate sponsor. They are so professional. They are always hurrying and scurrying around to get you back on the road safely. They They have people there that absolutely enjoy serving you. They've got the best in tires for all your vehicles, all your cars, trucks, SUVs, horse trailers, boat trailers, whatever needs tires. They've got the best in brake service, and they really care. They really care about taking care of you. Front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, and they got those fancy, good-looking chrome wheels for your dress-up of your four-wheeled wonder. You're going to love going in there because they believe in service. Please stop in and see them today. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, along with the Twist family over in Paul, John on Poline and Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. The best. They are, too. I'm really, really blessed. We've got kind of a condensing, if you will, of what's going to take place this next hour. And I think Gina would agree with me that after this next hour is over, I think I will go and try to jump out of a basement window. It's going to be...
Next hour is going to be very, very busy, action-packed.
Here's what happened, folks. We had a call from the governor's office, and they said, would you like to have Butch call in this morning? And I said, sure, when? And naturally, they picked the busiest time of our Thursday, but that's okay. So here's the game plan for next hour. And I'm not going to take any calls from outside during the governor because flat out, I don't have time. Honestly, I've only got about a 9-minute window, and it's going to be tough. We've got the chamber report, we've got Vicky's Country Gardens, and then the governor's going to call in, then we're going to go to Dog Nation, then we're going to go to Rita Ramsey, then we're going to go with Starving to Death, and then I'm going to go find a basement window. It's going to be a really, really quick hour, and we're looking forward to it, though. We do appreciate the governor thinking of us and calling in on the show this morning. So, thank you very much. Once again, there's going to be that big car show this weekend. Right there at the Cache County Fairgrounds. It's called Classics on the Grass, and it's going to be this Saturday and Sunday. And did I say Saturday and Sunday? Yes, I did. And that's correct. I almost thought for a minute I made a mistake. No, I was wrong. Anyway, Cache County Fairgrounds is the place, and it's going to be Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 5, and they're going to have everything there. Beautiful cars and boats and motorcycles, tractors, bicycles, pedal cars, everything. Classics on the Grass. I'll see you back here in about 6 minutes. Don't go away. Oh my, welcome back. Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, and our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with our great friends. Great friends. Yeah, we're going to greet them too. Great friends at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More at 459 Overland in Burley, and our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Talking about great friends, I also want to mention to you again about our dear friends that have helped us so much on with our lunch bunch and other activities. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Number to call, 436-5636. Joel Heward, manager, along with his family. I mean, they just absolutely serve you with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. And they know it's a very difficult time when there's the passing of a loved one, and they can and want to help. Please call them today. Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert, number 436-5636. All right, thanks also again to Lennox Home Comfort Systems. Absolutely, the gas furnaces, air conditioners, and heat pumps. You and your family will always enjoy the comfort through Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459. As I mentioned earlier this morning, before we go to the Chamber Report, we're going to be over at Snyder Surplus on Monday, June 16th. Live broadcast. It's their great big blowout sale and grand opening. Da-da-da! Thank you, Leland Snyder and the whole crew. There's going to be hamburgers, hot dogs, water, food cooked by the Rupert POWMIA. Going to be great. New merchandise, friendly store, Snyder Surplus. We'll be there June 16th on Monday. Right now, let's say good morning to the lovely Kay Cameron at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, Zeb Bell.
How are you?
I'm great. It's a beautiful day. We have just had a bustling of activity going on this morning, and it's just going to be a gorgeous day.
You know, I think you're kind of like me. I've heard you mention it in the past. The minute the temperatures get up to the point where we don't have to worry about dragging a sheepskin-lined jacket with us every day, I am a happy camper.
Absolutely. It's so nice to run out of the house in the mornings and forget my jacket and not worry about it, and remember to throw in a pair of slip-on shoes to wear to the ballpark this afternoon, or in the afternoons or the evenings when you go to ball games. And yeah, it's just, summer is in full swing in Mini-Cassia, and it's wonderful.
All right, what else is cooking around the area on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce?
Oh, my goodness. I'm not sure where to start. First of all, I know you always like to give a little mention about our gift shop occasionally. I just want to say we have a Charlotte Armstrong in the house currently. She's here presenting to our leadership group about the process that she went through to start up a business, and to share information of how you start a business and the process that you go through. But she's also sharing her product, and if anybody doesn't know what Charlotte does, she is the gal who has developed the Cowboy Tom's flapjacks, and what a fabulous product. And I'll tell you what, the smells of the flapjacks and the sausage, it's really making my stomach growl. So I'm hoping the leadership class is about wrapped up and loading on the bus so I can go and eat up the leftovers. But Cowboy Tom flapjacks, local product. It's a whole wheat pancake that you whip up in your blender. She also has gluten-free products that are like the teff, and which is an African wheatgrass, and the buckwheat. And she's local, and it's so great to see local people create local products. She uses local products here, and become an entrepreneur. It's such a success story, and we love when we see those things, and so we're just thrilled. So if anybody wants a sample of flapjacks, pop in anytime, because they're smelling delicious.
Oh my goodness.
That's kind of fun. But community activities, oh my gosh, we have just so many things going on. We have a birding day out to the City Rocks and Castle Rock State Park this weekend. The car show is this weekend, which is always a great thing, brings in a lot of people. There's a frisbee or a disc golf tournament this weekend. There's all kinds of fundraisers for Relay for Life. The Kiwanis is hosting a fun run. There's horseback and trail riding out to City Rocks, Castle Rock State Park. So all kinds of activities. I mean, you cannot say there's nothing going on, because I don't even have time to talk about all of the activities. It's summer, and summer there is stuff going on all the time. I know both the Burley Public Library and the DeMary Library over in Rupert have tons of events and reading programs to encourage kids to read and to continue and read throughout the summer. I've gone in and picked up a library card for my kids, and it's fun. It's good for them to continue that through the summer. All kids need to have that exposure to reading all summer long, so they don't lose that over the course of their vacation. But just lots of great things and many things to do.
Wow. I mean, I was going to get up out of the chair and go get another can of deodorant. I was getting tired out and sweaty just listening.
I told you, there's just been a bustling of activity here. We've had our board meeting this morning, our leadership class, lots going on. There's so many community events. It's so fun to look out in the park. You know, a couple times a week you see somebody having organized meetings and picnics and tours of the Arboretum, and just stuff going on all the time.
All right, that's the lovely Kay Cameron over at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. And how, of many ways, can they get a hold of you?
Come by and see us. We're located at 1177 7th Street in Hayburn, Idaho. You can give us a call at 208-679-4793. Find us on the internet at minicashiachamber.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
There you go, Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. Hold a pancake for me. I'll see you in a little bit. Thanks, Kay.
Okay. Okay, bye-bye.
See you later. Wow, that sounds really, really good. Don't forget, I'm going to go to lovely Miss Vicky in just a moment. Don't forget Father's Day coming up. Oh, my goodness. Father's Day is around the corner, and the Goodie Shop at 133 West Main in Burley says, hey, treat Dad to a goodie basket, build your own, or select one that's already done. Or how about a special Father's Day mug filled with candy, kisses, and brownie treats? Oh, my goodness. All you have to do is just call the Goodie Basket at 647-0106. That's right, the Goodie Shop at 133 West Main in Burley. Absolutely delicious. Along with Redder's Showcase at 2611 Oberlin in Burley. Oh, my, what a great place to shop for Dad. Yeah, take him along, take him by the hand and say, Dad, try that one. Recliners starting at just $3.99, and they've got over 30 different styles to choose from. Lifetime warranty, best in the industry. They've got everything over there. You better take Dad in and just let him sit and survey, and he'll pick out what he wants. You better believe it at Redder's Showcase, 2611 Overland in Burley. And those are just a few of the sponsors celebrating Father's Day coming up real soon. Right now, it's time for the lovely Miss Vicky, and I'm running a little bit late right now, and I got the governor calling in about 6 minutes. Vicky at Vicky's Country Gardens. It's time for Gardening for Idiots, named after me at 185 South 600 West of Paul. Vicky's Garden, and good morning, Miss Vicky. How are you?
I'm just fine, Zeb. It's a beautiful morning out.
It is a beautiful, beautiful morning, and I know we got a lot of things to talk about here this morning as far as gardening is concerned. And one of the things I heard on the news this morning, and I'm not sure I understand what it is, they were saying that there is a problem in this area with miller moths. Explain that to me.
There is. We've had a real problem with. They look like a lot of people call them hummingbird moths. They look like a hummingbird. A lot of people in here think, "Oh, look at the cute hummingbird." No, it's a miserable damn moth. They're not nice. They're not nice moths at all. Let me tell you.
Oh, now wait a minute, Vicky.
Potato hornworm.
Let me interrupt for a minute, because now I know what I'm talking about with you explaining it. Last week, as we were sitting out on the deck, I thought it was a bunch of hummingbirds, and I looked closer, and that's what they are. They look like hummingbirds, but they're called miller moths, right?
They are, and that's not quite what I call them, but that's beside the point. But they are very, they come in, and if you're noticing, you've got holes drilled in some of your big leaves and that, they come down and they just dive bomb and hit the big leaves and just knock holes in things. But the biggest thing that they do, the biggest damage they do, is the eggs that they lay, and it's the tomato hornworm that becomes, and those things can eat up a tomato or some of your plants and stuff in an overnight situation. I mean, they're green. They're kind of a chameleon type thing. They can kind of change color, so you kind of got to look for them, but they're ugly. And they can get to be about 3 inches long. They've got horns on the top of their head, little spiky horn things on them, and they just eat as they go. They chew. They just take and shred leaves, and they can take like fuchsias. They get into different flowers. They get into tomatoes. They get into cabbages. They get into all kinds of things. And just eat them down to nothing.
My goodness. Now, see, I did not know what that was the other night. Deanne didn't know what it was the other night. And there we were sitting on the sun deck.
I chase them around here with bug spray.
And what's that?
I chase them around here with bug spray.
You know, now, come on, Vicky. Your knee's no better than my knee. We don't chase well.
Well, I've got bug spray that'll shoot 15 feet.
All right, well, I'm coming over to buy bug spray from you because, boy, I'll tell you what, I need a longer range shot. I did not know what that was because here's the thing. They were on the same side of the house as where our real hummingbirds are, and quite frankly, they do look like a hummingbird.
They do, but they don't have the color. They're just, right. And when you look at them, they are basically just a great big moth.
Yeah. Okay.
And they are a destructive thing because they damage leaves, but the biggest thing they do, there's one flying over my head right now, they do deposit the eggs, and those eggs are the ones that, the larvae from them are the ones that are the ugly, ugly things that you got to really look out for.
Okay,
and
now...
really do some damage.
All right, now real quick, Vicki, and I've got a kind of a shortened version this morning. The governor's going to be calling in. What is the best way to treat and stop these pests? What's the best way to do that?
I mean, basically, if you can, I mean, you got to try to kill them. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, it's like an insecticide or something to that, like a spray that you can get them with. I mean, they're really hard to kill. They're big, and they're hard. They're fast, and they're hard to kill. And the main thing is, if you see them, start checking your plants, checking your tomatoes, your cabbages, and things like that. They start out as little green worms, about a quarter of an inch long, and they can become, in about 2 days, they're about 3 inches long, and they are mean.
Oh,
so
my.
Start looking for them. Once you see one, you'll never forget it, because they are ugly.
All right. Man, oh, man, am I glad we brought that up, because I didn't know what they were, and now I do. Hey, you've got a great gift shop over...
Little things. Kill them if you can.
Okay. You've got a great gift shop over there at Vicky's Country Gardens, too, don't you? Tell us quickly about that.
Well, we do have some neat gifts in there. We've got some wind spinners that dads would love. We've got the ones that are mossy oaks with the elk and the deer and the fish and all those kind of things on them. We've got Boise State ones, all kinds of things like that. But the main thing is, if Dad's still planting his garden, we decided we was going to put our tomatoes and peppers on 25% off.
Wow.
So this is a great time. You're not too late. This is great weather for gardening.
All right.
Perfect weather for gardening.
All your garden needs.
Garden in, get her in, and we're here to help you with a nice sale on tomatoes and peppers. Good selection still.
All right, and you got all the river rock. You've got everything for landscaping over there too, right?
Oh, you bet. I got new river rock in. Got more coming in this weekend. More coming in next week. So we've got lots of rock. Got the new, all the bars, all the landscape fabric, everything that Dad needs to do his projects with. So all else there, I'll give him a gift certificate and let him come in and buy what he wants.
All right, lovely Miss Vicky at Vicky's Country Gardens, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. I'm going to go get the shotgun and go get rid of Miller Moss. Thanks, Vicky. God bless. We'll see you next Thursday.
All right, thanks, Zeb.
All right, take care. I did not know what that was. That son of a gun, and I had to watch my language, was buzzing us the other day, and I thought it was a hummingbird. It's not. It's one of those Miller Moss. Holy cow. Hey, don't forget the best of life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this for your protection. Through Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Dean Cameron, Todd Siemens, they're always dedicated and responsive to your needs. All you have to do is call and say, hey, we need help. We want to find out what our protection is. Call them at 436-4424. 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Absolutely serving you. Now, here's where I have to check a little bit with Gina, over at the station, because I don't know the situation. Has the governor got on the line yet?
Not called.
He has not yet called. We're on a tight time frame here today, and I was told that he would call in immediately at exactly 19 after. It's 21 after, and we'll do another commercial and see if he's going to call, because I've got so much scheduled, we may not be able to get him in this morning, but we will do our absolute best. Want to remind you, too, about our friends. Let's see, I got to get my papers over here. I'll just wait a second on that, and then we'll hit the next one after, hopefully, if the governor calls. What happens a lot of times on these situations, the left hand sometimes doesn't know what the left hand's going to do, and those of us that are in the media, we sit and wait, and hopefully they'll call on time, but right now we are waiting for Governor Otter to give us a call here this morning, so that should be taking place any time. Once again, I want to remind you, shop where the fun is sold, and that's Let's Ride. Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley. Oh, my goodness sakes, they've got all the ATVs. They've got everything over there, side-by-side, Can-Ams. Oh, my, and their service department. I just took my four-wheelers over to have them serviced in the last couple of days. Man alive, they do a good job checking everything out to make sure that it's going to be tip-top and A1 when you get out on the hills and enjoying Idaho this summer. Once again, all the ATVs, dirt bikes, street bikes, everything, fantastic accessory department, all there at Let's Ride. Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley, with the best of people serving you. Let's Ride, where the fun is sold. And again, we wait patiently as we wait to see if Governor is on the phone. Thank you very much. Governor Butch Otter from the State House in Boise is on the phone with us this morning. Good morning, Governor. How are you?
Good morning, the world's best healer. How are you doing?
Well, I don't know about that, my friend, but I certainly do appreciate you calling in this morning. And I know we have a short time, and I want to just ask you this, Butch. You probably are aware of the thuggery that's going on with the EPA. We had a case in northern Idaho where a couple absolutely almost lost everything. They had to go clear to the Supreme Court to protect their property.
Oh, yeah.
Now we have another case in Wyoming where a gentleman went through the hoops with the Wyoming permits, built a little farm pond, and the EPA didn't like it, and they're fining him $75,000 a day. How can we as Americans protect ourselves from the thuggery of the EPA? It's getting worse every day.
Well, one of the first things we got to do is cut back on the EPA's ability to promulgate their own rules and regulations, and for Obama to just ignore the rule of law. As disorganized as they seem to be, and as contrarian, as maybe tyrannical as they are, they still have an obligation to obey the law. And one of the most important tenets, especially that we recognize in the West, is private property. Now, Zeb, you may recall that in 1994, I started a legal odyssey with the EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers, because out at my ranch, which had been, not since 1939, but prior to 1939, when the Army Corps of Engineers built the dike along the north bank of the Boise River that goes through Star, Idaho, and goes through my ranch, why, there had been a channel, a river channel that was kind of the South Channel, and the city of Star and folks kind of used that channel after 1939 to dump their garbage, including a bunch of old cars and hot water heaters and, you name it. Anyway, that's what happened. So in 1994, I was taking those old cars out of that channel, and which only had about it was all subbed in. There was nothing ever flowed through that. Anyway, it wasn't until 2001, on January 19th, that the Supreme Court finally ruled that the Army Corps of Engineers and the EPA had overstepped their authority, and that channel was an isolated water body. And that's how I then got permission to go ahead and clean up the rest of it, and also build a pond on my place. Because they said it was, unless there was a nexus, a surface nexus, where water flowed from a navigable water of the United States government, or the Boise River in this case, into my pond, and then out of my pond back into the river, unless there was a surface nexus, then it was not navigable waters of the United States government, and they had no authority over it. So that's what the folks up north did, and that's what the folks in Wyoming are going to have to do. And it's a celebrated case, because it was the city of Chicago that sued the EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers that got that decision on I say again, in January of 2001.
Okay, Governor, I know we have a short time this morning, but I want to salute you for your stand for traditional marriage. I absolutely think that if we can't stand for something, we're going to fall for anything. And right now, there is a major movement to have Idaho change its stance on accepting gay marriage. I'd like your comments on that this morning.
Well, we are in process right now. We lost the case right here at the local level. We went to the Ninth Circuit, and we got a stay, which means that we didn't have to issue marriage licenses on same-sex marriages. We wanted to avoid the same problem that Gary Herbert now has down in Utah, because he didn't get a say, and until they got into court, there was about 1,000 licenses issued for same-sex marriage, and now he got a stay on that. Anyway, here's where we are. We are in the Ninth Circuit. I think it's probably going to be in September. But what we're trying to do is shortcut this thing and cut down the cost. So far, we've spent less than $10,000.
But what we want to do is we want to go en blanc to the Ninth Circuit Court. And what that means, it's ENBLANC. And what that means is that we want an 11-judge panel, because if we accept only a 3-judge panel, they make a decision against us. Then we're going to have to appeal to an 11-judge panel. If they make a decision against us, then we'll appeal to the Supreme Court. Now, people are saying, "Butch, why are you doing this?" Well, I'll tell you why I'm doing it. Because in our early January day back in 2011, I raised my hand on the Capitol steps, one hand high in the air, the other one on the Bible, and I said, I will defend. I took an oath to defend the Constitution of the state of Idaho. That's Article 3, Section 28 of the Constitution that defines marriage in Idaho as passed by the people in 2006. That says marriage in Idaho is between one man and one woman. Zeb, I also want to say that we are not anti-gay and lesbian in Idaho. We are pro-traditional marriage.
Absolutely. Quickly, Governor, the budget. How are things looking fiscally for this year, going in now to the midsummer point, and then next year towards the legislative session? Are things going as planned, or are there some bubbles along the way?
Well, Zeb, as usual, we're watching our income, our revenues very, very closely, and we're almost right on the money. No pun intended, but we're almost dead on where we predicted would be out of a $2.9 billion revenue source. We're within about $3 million of where we said we would be by April, by the end of April. Now, we haven't got May's figures in yet, so I can't tell you if we're still that close. Those figures will be vetted and scrubbed. I'll have those figures probably in the next couple of days. But we will begin, starting July 1st, we'll begin setting the budget, asking the agencies for their budget requests for the next fiscal year.
All right. And, Butch, I know we're almost out of time and you've got to run, but quick thoughts about the Bowe Bergdahl situation?
Well, there's just too many unknowns really right now, Zeb, to weigh in on that. It would be unfair to Bowe, and it would be unfair to the process, I think. What we need to do is just kind of calm down. And so I'm not going to speculate on anything beyond what I know. And what I know is after almost 5 years, a young man from Idaho no longer is in enemy hands. But I do know, having been being a vet and being in the military, there is a uniform code of military justice. And so there are processes in place that the military and for Congress, quite frankly, to determine what comes next. And so I think we need to just sit back a little bit and let these processes take their course.
Go saddle a horse this weekend. It's going to be excellent weather. Go to a team rope and enjoy yourself. Governor Butch Otter, thank you for your time here this morning.
Thanks, Zeb.
God bless. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Governor Butch Otter on our program this morning from the Capitol, and we appreciate his comments. I tried to rush as many subjects in there as I could in a short time, but we do thank him for being a part of our program today. Who let all these dogs out around here anyway? Holy smokes.
Let the dogs out! Let the dogs out!
We got dogs running all over the place. Where is Officer Mort when you need him the most? Where is he? A 911 call for Officer Mort. There's dogs all over the place. Good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. I'm actually sitting here waiting to be on your show.
Well, I know you are, and I apologize, but things got kind of condensed this morning, so don't put the dog net over me, okay?
Oh, that's fine. I won't.
Okay. We talked a little bit about you being gone to Florida to learn a whole bunch of things and everything. Is there anything else you want to mention about your Florida trip before we have the dog of the day?
I'm actually putting together a thing and stuff, and I met with the dogfighting people down there with ASPCA and the U.S. Humane Society. They are getting me a bunch of information, plus the ASPCA is actually, a gentleman has contacted me about putting together a free class, one-day class for law enforcement agencies and animal control officers and veterinarians in our Magic Valley area who are willing to attend. I mean, and it's basically going to go over some of the things of figuring out and stuff and that. There are signs and stuff and that of possible dog fighting or basically any kind of animal fighting. They actually call it animal combat fighting. Mm-hmm. And they're going to go over stuff and that, things to look for, and then also train on some investigative techniques and stuff and that. So I've actually got several of the counties here, local law enforcement agencies with police departments, some of the animal control officers in our area have all jumped on board, said you get it set up, and we will send people and stuff and that to attend this course because it's something we definitely need around here.
Oh my, yes. Okay, the dog of the day.
The dog of the day or the week is Red Dog. He is actually a pit Ridgeback cross. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what a Ridgeback is, they're kind of look a little bit like a lab type dog, Annette, but they've got that raised, Annette, look like almost like a raised spine type piece. Annette, the hair will actually stick up. It actually looks like it's got a ridge running down his back.
I see.
He is reddish brown. He'd been running loose, Annette, at large in Rupert for quite some time. I finally got him caught. Annette, he's approximately 2 years old. He's okay with other dogs. He's a little timid and stuff in that at first, but once he gets to know you within a few minutes and stuff in that, he's a very fun-loving dog. He's actually looking for somebody and stuff in that to really love him and actually take care of him. So if anybody's interested in him, they can reach us at the facility at 438-2200 or can reach me on my cell phone at 670-7268.
What's his name, by the way?
Red Dog.
Oh, just plain Red Dog.
Yep.
You know, I really admire you for staying up late at night coming up with these very innovative names.
Actually, I was talking with some of the neighbors and that around the area that I picked him up in, and that's what they said his name was.
Oh, okay. Well, I apologize.
Just kept it.
All right.
Okay.
And if he would have been a black dog, he would have been Black Dog.
Probably Black Dog, yeah.
There you go. This is really getting pretty simple. You know that?
Oh, yeah. But then I also want to throw out to everybody, Annette, right around the corner is the 4th of July. Annette, when I was on my way back from Dillon, Montana yesterday, and on my way there, I seen several of those 4th of July fireworks trailers being hauled around the valleys. Annette, so I want to reiterate to everybody and remind everybody that, you know, your animals and stuff and that are scared of those fireworks. Please take extra precaution, Annette, with your animals, especially this time of year. Annette, with the 4th of July coming up, Annette, make sure that there's someplace where they're going to be safe. They're not going to run off from you, Annette, so that you can keep your family, friends, and stuff, Annette, at home.
All right. Officer Ken Mort, Minidoka Animal Control. God bless you, my dear friend. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next Thursday.
Sounds great, and God bless you, too.
All right. Thank you. Who let all these dogs out anyway? I'll tell you what, Ken really appreciates canines and does a great job. Ken Mort, Minidoka Animal Control. My goodness, this lovely lady had to wait a little bit longer than normal this morning, but I appreciate her patience. Good morning, Rita Ramsey. How are you?
Good morning. I'm real good. How are you doing?
Rita, you know what I'm going to talk about this morning. I think you've got ESP, and you probably know where I'm headed. This story about Bowe Bergdahl, the story about Barack Obama, the story about the 5 Muslim terrorist killers, the story about their release, the story about Gitmo, the story about Bergdahl's father. My goodness, this is like spokes in a wheel. This is a never-ending story that seems to be growing bigger every day. Wouldn't you agree?
It does, and we haven't heard the last of it. And in fact, there was an article this morning that I looked at that says we've got bigger problems. The biggest thing isn't that Bergdahl was released. The biggest thing is that we've got a lawless president.
Rita, I don't think people realize, or maybe they don't even care, about what was done here. I mean, President Obama, according to the constitutional people I've called, and I've called people back east, I've called constitutional people that are on television, I've called a lot of people that know, and quite frankly, there's a lot of concern about these broken laws, about superseding Congress, about acting as a dictator, about releasing deadly combatants that basically are prisoners on our tax dollars and moving them into another country. All of these things are considered to be treasonous acts. Am I wrong?
No, it's this is a bad thing. There's a number of issues that we need to look at this, and Oliver North brought up one of them. I think it was on Tuesday night when I was coming back from Rexburg. We were listening to Hannity, and Oliver North said, "You won't convince me that there was not money exchanged." Those people who were holding Bergdahl were basically the mafia. They didn't have anything to do with the Taliban, and they work for money. And so for the Taliban to come back to them, what use would it be? What benefit would be for them? He said always when they have hostage situations, there's always money involved. And he says often, and it's happened over the years, the federal government will pay them money to get what they need back. But he said this was not, this had nothing to do, the Taliban being freed from Gitmo, to those people who had him in, as a hostage. They want money. And so he says, I think you'll find out. And he said, it may be hard to trace, but he says, and it ends up going through several different, people and organizations and stuff, that he said, I know darn good and well, and he says, I'll bet you money that they receive money, and it could have been between $5 and $6 million, and then we let the Taliban loose.
Rita, I want to look at this thing objectively, because I was just on the phone with the governor, and he and I both agree there are a lot of points of interest in this story that we don't know all the basics in all the last chapter of the book. However, my question is not so much about Bergdahl, not so much about his dad, but why? Why was this trade negotiated to the point where the President of the United States let loose 5 terrible vermin Muslim killers for one soldier, when we are never supposed to arbitrate, negotiate, and make settlements with terrorists or anybody else? This is just going to make, I think, Americans much more at risk. I don't understand this trade at all. Explain it to me.
Well, I think the only thing that it is that President Obama wanted to give in to somebody and start getting people out of the Guantanamo, and this was one way that he could do it and really stick a finger in the eye of the Bush administration and all of the military. I thought it was quite interesting what Marcus Luttrell had to say about this. He said, when I was over there, and anyway, he said, I was lucky to be kept alive, and he said they wanted to kill me. So he says, I don't understand why those people, if they were holding a hostage, would have kept him for 5 years. He said there's something, really, really wrong there, that they would have actually kept him for 5 years. So it stands to reason that, was he actually colluding with them or helping them? And then if you look at I saw it last night on one of the news shows, I can't remember which, and I've got it right in front of me on the computer. But anyway, it showed a picture that the Taliban had let this video out for propaganda reasons, and it showed him as he was kind of blinking his eyes and rubbing him like he was crying. It looked to me like when the guy that was talking to him, the other guy was smiling, and Bergdahl was sitting there crying. It was like Bergdahl was saying, do I have to go back? I mean, I just couldn't take it any other direction. So there's really a lot of signals out there that are really, really making you wonder, just what is at the bottom of all of it. I think my biggest thing is it's time to disconnect Obama's phone and take his darn pen away. I'm sick of this.
Well, let's talk about another aspect of the story that I don't think is being given enough credit. I think it's the other families of soldiers that died while on patrol and search for Bergdahl. Now the other soldiers that served with him that are speaking out, they're being lambasted by the government and by the State Department as, quote-unquote, not knowing what they're talking about. Some of the families of soldiers that died while looking for Bergdahl are being minimized. This story, and I'm not going to back up on it, is growing like a cancer, and quite frankly, a very important national news source that I talked to this morning back in New York City that's going to be on our program in another week. They asked that I not use their name this morning on the show until next week, said to me that this thing is just the tip of the iceberg, and it's going to be, quote-unquote, the downfall of Barack Obama.
Oh, I think there's every possibility of that happening, and the reason is I think they thought they could just do another Benghazi thing. We can do whatever we want. We'll get the VA off of the front page, and we'll tell Congress that they can go straight to heck because we're not going to obey them. We're not going to go by their rules. And meanwhile, and somebody brought this up, and I haven't found too much about it, but apparently there's some government things going on in Israel with Hamas and everything, and these kinds of things are happening. It's kind of like, well, let's all turn towards Bergdahl coming home, and we're the heroes and everything. And I think they misjudged the people that have anything to say about it. And even though those military people had to sign disclosure statements, I heard one of them say, we had to sign a disclosure statement until Bergdahl was back in American custody. And so it's not like they can't talk about it now. It's like they couldn't talk about it for 5 years, and that's why we didn't hear very much about it. But I think that Obama figured they could just kind of go and do whatever they wanted and snub their nose at Congress, and nobody would pay attention to it, and all the news media that's just given them a free pass before would give them a free pass this time. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's too many people telling the truth about what really happened there, and is going to show that the administration did something that they shouldn't have done.
Rita, I've got to do a weather forecast, and when we come back, it'll only be about a minute. I want to talk to you about Haley, and we'll get right into that in just a moment. Stand by. Weather this hour is brought to you by Red's Trading Post, 203 5th Avenue South in Twin Falls. Ryan and the rest of the crew at Red's Trading Post with the best of guns, ammo, and accessories, and very knowledgeable people. They know guns, they know ammo, and they can answer your questions. Red's Trading Post, 203 5th Avenue South in Twin Falls, 733-3546. Here now, Michael Rogers Weather.
Hi, everybody. Michael Rogers from MichaelRogersWeather.com. How many ways can you say it's going to be sunny for the next 7 to 10 days? How many ways? How many ways? You know, I had to get Gina to sit up there and just go, sunny, 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 sunny. Yeah, she sounds pretty good, too. Look for a high today, pretty much in the 80s, all the way across the board. And I want you to have yourself a great weekend. And if you find any way to absolutely say how many ways you can say sunny, feel free to do so. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
Thank you, Michael. Sunny, sunny, sunny. Red's Trading Post, 203 5th Avenue South in Twin Falls. The best of guns, ammo, and accessories. We're on the phone with Rita Ramsey. Rita, I think it was very, very wise of Haley, the town of Haley, to cancel the welcome back for Bowe Bergdahl. But there have been those that have been listening to my program for the last week, you've probably heard me mention this, that have called me on my cell phone and criticized me for going into the various aspects of this story. My response is, these are all allegations that some have already come to fruition, others may come to fruition, but this is a huge news story about a president releasing Muslim terrorist killers for a possible army deserter and all the adjoining stories that are connected to it. Rita, why shouldn't we report on this?
First of all, we should be reporting on it, and even though those folks up there had a noble cause in hoping for his return and everything else, I mean, he's one of their family, basically, their community family. They it was good that they did that. However, I don't know about you, but I remember when he first disappeared and the news that came out. And the news that came out said that he had walked away. And the first thing I thought of is he walked away on his own. He was a deserter. And why that would not be, I mean, when I found out that he was coming home, I'm thinking, okay, I remember when he was left. And they called him, they thought that he was a deserter then, and nobody said too much about it. And they've tried to keep it low-key for a number of years. But it just seemed funny that those people would want to have a great big celebration and doing all of the hoopla and everything that they were doing in lieu of this happening. And now it makes them look like that they were just really off base here, even though it was a noble cause to have a big celebration. And I can't imagine in my wildest dreams why they'd call you up and get after you for talking about it, because it is news. But I really feel bad for them, because I think they've kind of been duped. And in the end, I think they'll find out that, that noble cause that they were chasing after was wishful thinking. And it's sad, because those people were definitely, doing anything that was within their power and trying to make a noise so that he could be returned, only to find out that it might not be as grand of return as it should have been.
Rita, there's another aspect of this story that I just had to grit my teeth, because first of all, I absolutely do not like the man. I hold him in contempt, and that, of course, is Harry Reid Jr., the Senate Majority Leader. This man has to play politics with everything and automatically turn the Bergdahl story back into and against the Republicans, saying as much, and I'm just putting it all together in my verbiage. Basically, this is a Republican hate campaign against Barack Obama, one of many, because it's a racist thing. I'm so fed up with his attitude and his twisting of the actual story. This man is absolutely pathetic.
Well, it is, and these people who keep yelling and screaming this are just absolutely uninformed. If they would look at the news and look at it with an open mind, they would see that the things that have been going on shouldn't have been happening. And there's finally a few Democrats in Washington that are starting to look at this and go, hey, we got a guy that's out of control in the White House. And it's their job as Congress and Senate to pull some of that back in. The thing that's really sad about it is there's a ton of other things going on in the news that really deserve some attention, and all we're talking about is Bergdahl. And this is, I think, what the administration wanted, because this is, over in Nigeria, those terrorists that kidnapped those 300 little gals now, they've gone in and killed 200 civilians in 3 communities just in the last few days. And they're doing all kinds of bad stuff, and we're not supposed to be looking at that. We're not supposed to be looking at the Israel Hamas thing and the Palestinians, and we're not supposed to be looking at the VA deal and all these other things. And this is sad that it's just totally out of control. And the very biggest story is Bergdahl and all of these guys that are coming out and saying, hey, you don't know the whole story, but I do, because I was there, and we need to listen to them. This is just, it's just beyond imaginable of where this is going to go.
And you mentioned something about where we're going to go on this story. Dianne Feinstein, very liberal from California, she is offended. She's mad, and she's not saying as much to the press about this, but you could tell that she was very miffed that she was not brought into the loop information-wise about the release of these 5 Muslim killers. Maybe this is what it's going to take, Rita. Maybe this is what it's going to take for a co-joining of both aisles to stand up and say, enough of this dictatorship, start being a president and abide by the Constitution.
Well, somebody needs to, and it's going to have to be the hard left, because anybody on the right who says that, they're just racist, and so they can't say too awful much about it, even though they're really, up in arms on it.
There's another subject I don't know if I've got enough time to get into this morning, and that's the EPA with what happened over in Wyoming with Andy Johnson's family. So I guess what I'll ask you is, with some of the primaries and with the major mention of the Tea Party having some major influence on those primaries, what's going on with the Tea Party locally, and are we regaining some of that power and prestige?
I think across the nation we are, and I think one of the things is that, and this has been the Tea Party's, vision to start with, is that knowledge equals power. We want people to become informed. That's what our meetings are about, and what most all of the Tea Party meetings they have. We don't just go in there and rag on Obama or somebody that we don't like. We like to get people informed, and so we try to have speakers, or we try to cover information that people need to know, so that we can get informed and can see where we need to make a difference and things that we need to do as the electorate. So I think that the Tea Party people really are making a difference because we're getting people informed of a lot of the issues that need to be addressed. And I know that, even here in our area, we're cast outs, and they actually hate us, and they don't like the fact that we're Republicans, and we should be able to vote Republican if we want, or show up at, any like the county Republican meetings or anything like that. We are still, most of us, Republicans, but we are citizens, and we have the right to vote. But we also have a responsibility as citizens to try to get our people, especially our elected people, back on the track of going by the Constitution. We don't have a dictatorship and we don't have a democracy. We have a representative republic, and people need to know that, and so do the politicians need to be reminded of that, and we need to start speaking our voice and speaking to our representatives. And if they don't vote the way that we want them to vote and they don't vote our values, we need to send them home and send somebody else there.
Amen. Amen. I love having this lady on the program. Rita Ramsey, thank you so much. And like Michael Rogers with the weather, sunny, sunny, sunny. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Enjoy, and we will talk to you on next Thursday.
Okay, thanks, Zeb. We'll see you. Bye.
Take care. Very, very informed lady, and I always enjoy having her on the show every Thursday. Rita Ramsey, thank you very much. There's one segment that Gina Jameson likes more than any other segment on my program, and that's the, if you're hungry, you must be starving to death. I've got the answers right here. Oh, my. Let's talk about some great places to go have lunch. Let's talk about some great things to go eat. How about Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley, with a southern baked burrito, either soft shell or grilled shell, chicken or steak, and Kip. Oh, I tell you, old Kip, he knows just how to make them. That's the southern baked burrito at Taco Bandito. Oh, my. Everything is delicious. The taco salad burritos, the chicken strip baskets, the Mexican pizza, everything at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. You stop in and see them today. How about, let's move on across to Burgers, etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 North Overland in Burley. Summer's here, and Burgers, etc. has 16-ounce root beer floats after 3 p.m. for only 99 cents. Oh my, I'm headed in there. Root beer floats are my favorite from back in Wisconsin. We used to love root beer floats. And after 3, just 99 cents. And they got fresh strawberry shakes. Oh my, and every Sunday shrimp dinner special at the Burley location. Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. You stop in and see them today. Let's move over now to Steve-O's. Oh, ho, ho, 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Food made the way you like it. And listen up, the patio is open. They just remodeled and they're waiting for you to try it out. Come on in to Steve-O's and sit there on the patio and enjoy Southern Idaho outside. Absolutely, they got the best French fries, voted by the best and eaten by the best of Minnecasia. And they say they are the best. You better believe it. And they've got pork chops with salad and choice of potatoes. Very friendly servers, always serving you with the best of food. At Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Food made the way you like it. And Duck Uglies, my goodness, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley, right next to Berry Equipment and Rental. Oh, ribeye steaks, New York steaks, salmon, battered cod. They've got a Philly cheesesteak pita that'll knock your boots off. Delicious. How do I know? I've had it, man. It is great. And they're open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 9:30. Oh, my, you better get on in there to Duck Uglies. Really good food. Great environment. Great atmosphere. 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. And last but not least, as we take our little tour of great places to go eat, the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, yeah, with the famous Farmer Brown burgers and the ranch burgers and the 3-piece fish and chips with small fry, combo meals, and all the different flavored shakes. Name a shake, they can make a shake. I'll tell you what, they make all of them. And they're just waiting to serve you. Yes, AC Drive-In, great place, 601 East Main in Burley. You stop in and see them today. And those are just a few places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. And let's talk to Miss Drooling. Are you hungry and starving to death?
Yes, I am.
I am too. You know, I put on, for some reason, a little bit of weight towards the end of May, and I think a lot of it had to do that I just kind of trashed my diet, but oh my, when I talk about those places, I just love every one of them. Super good places to go eat.
Well, I'm sure that Jerry is always excited when I drool all over the microphone.
Yeah, he's standing there with the Clorox or whatever it is.
He is. Actually, he is.
Don't you just hate that, though? Honestly, real quick answer. You get people in to use microphones, maybe yours, and I take my own microphone to all my special events. But you get somebody that spits all over it, and maybe even get somebody that's chewing tobacco, and then you got to use the mic.
I always take my mic screen with me, and here we have mic screens that I clean out all the time. Also, Lysol.
There's a lot of Lysol.
Lots of Lysol. We've got a quick phone call.
Quick call, 30 seconds, fast, go.
Hey, Zeb. Hey, wanted to let everybody know that we have a Scottish Highland Games coming to Burley. It'll be the 28th of this month at Freedom Park, right there at the Burley Airport. So, anybody wants to come, starts at 9 o'clock. Anybody wants to compete by 8, and we'll go from there.
All right, Kiltman, send me some information. I'll hit it every day, okay?
You got him.
All right, God bless you. We got to run to the news. ABC is next. I'll see you back in 6. Don't go away. Oh my, here we go, hour number 3. I'm excited because it's hour number 3. Why am I excited? Because it's hour number 3. Because then I get a couple of days off to enjoy the great Idaho outdoors. Good morning, I'm Zeb at the Ranch, and of course our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers, and that's Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. Going to be talking to them in just a few seconds, along with also Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Hey, by the way, too, don't forget at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. Today is Thursday. Oh, listen to this. Smothered French dip sandwich. Ooh, smothered with grilled onions and mushrooms and Swiss cheese and thick gravy sauce. Oh, my! With a choice of fries or tots and super salad. That is going to be fantabulous at the Chadwick Sports Grill today, 139 West Main in Burley. You stop in. Hey, call me. Buy me lunch. Sounds good at the Chadwick. Let's head on down right now to Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. Good morning, and I haven't got a clue who's on the other end of the line.
Zev, Jason Lee here.
That's what I thought. There you go. Good morning, Jason.
Well, Zev, thanks for having me on the show this morning. You know, here at Lee's Furniture, we've got a few specials going on. One thing we definitely want to make point of is Father's Day is just around the corner here. Mm-hmm. And so all those people who are looking for a great gift, something to get for their father to show a little appreciation, we've got an awesome sale on all of our reclining furniture. And so that goes from recliners to reclining sofas or love seats. But Zeb, we've got a lot of good specials. We've got all of our recliners marked down. Those are going to start around $299. Some real good options there. Right now I'm looking at, we've got a power sofa, double reclining sofa in power at only $899.
Oh my.
One of our real big specials as well. And, you know, we've just got a lot going on here as far as the upholstery goes, some real good specials. Floor covering as well. So this is kind of for those fathers who want to treat themselves a little bit. We've got carpet at under $1 square foot. We've got vinyl at under $1 square foot. We've got carpet tiles at under $1 square foot. Just some really, really good specials right now.
You know, let me ask you about that power sofa. Now, how does that work exactly?
So it's basically the way the mechanism works is it's on a power motor. Mm-hmm. people love those for a couple different reasons. One, if you're having a hard time closing the recliner, if it kind of strains your knees of any sort, they're really nice. There's absolutely no strain on those. The other thing, too, most people I know like to sleep in that reclined position. Whether you're just sitting down, relaxing, watching a little TV, falling asleep on accident, whatnot, that power will keep the position of the chair right where you leave it. It's not going to move on you. If you move a little bit as you're sleeping, it's a really nice feature. People love it for that reason.
Oh, my. And you've got these along with everything else. All the families have to do is just kind of grab Dad by the hand. Hurry up, grab him by the hand, and just say, we're going to Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More for Father's Day, right?
That's right, absolutely. And right now we've got a 15 months. No interest financing, a lot of good specials. Hurry in with those, fathers. A lot of these specials are just what we have on the floor. A lot of them we can't order back in, and so come take advantage while they're here.
Absolutely. You heard it right from Jason at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland and Burley. Father's Day is covered. If you'll take Dad right into Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More, he'll find exactly what he wants you to buy him for Father's Day. Thanks, Jason.
Yep, thanks, Eb.
God bless. Have a good day. Thank you. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. Holy cow, let's see where I got to go next. On my list of things to do, yes, it is time for Cassia County School Days. And Cassia County School Days is brought to you by two wonderful sponsors, and I really do appreciate them. Number one, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and they're having their 12th annual Everything for Babies and Toddlers on sale. Yes, that's right. You can save 20 to up to 50%. And they've got cribs, and they've got all the strollers and walkers and blankets and toys and everything else. And I've got to tell the phone I can't answer their call right now. And they've got everything over there for babies. So get in there today. All gift wrapping is free at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And also the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Drive in Burley. Oh, my goodness. They've got outpatient surgery. Every procedure done there will save you money, and while getting outstanding medical care right there in Burley. Over 100 procedures performed a month. All you have to do is call and schedule 677-8888. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Drive in Burley, and A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley, bringing you Cassia County School Days. And the lovely lady that we have on the program with us this morning is Sandra Miller, the new curriculum director for the Cassia County Schools. Good morning, Sandra. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. I am doing very well, thank you, and I appreciate this opportunity to speak on behalf of Cassia School District this morning.
Well, here we go. It's almost the end, and everybody's sitting back thinking about ice cream socials and just laying underneath a big old shade tree for about 3 months out of the summer. But your work is never done. You're the new curriculum director for Cassia County Schools. What does that mean, curriculum director?
Okay, well, yes, I am the new curriculum director. I am taking Dana DeHaan's position. She has retired recently, and what that means is that I will be assisting the district, all of the leadership teams, the administrators, the teachers, with implementation of curriculum, and it is based on core contents. So curriculum director is a pretty big position. It encompasses everything from your physical education curriculum and health curriculum all the way to advanced math classes, calculus, and so I will be working with other professionals throughout the district in making decisions about curriculum and how we are going to implement that curriculum at different grade levels and what resources we will be using to help us implement.
Sandra, let me ask you this question. This is probably a very not knowing or naive question, but how do you sit down and discern what you think is best for the student? And I'm not trying to be unknowledgeable about this, but really that's not the easiest thing in the world to do, is it?
No, you are right, Zeb. It is a difficult task. Educators at all levels have very difficult job, especially in the area of curriculum implementation, because they do to analyze the individual needs of students, and then they have to base the resources that they use on those individual needs. And so many times it's not just one series of a textbook that a teacher uses, but multiple resources to help with each individual child's needs. And so it is not an easy task. You are exactly right. But I do think that with standards set for us, Idaho standards, we use the standards as a basis, and then we decide what, from those standards, we decipher what students need to know at kindergarten level in English language arts. And then we, as a team of educators and professionals, sit down and we decide what resources or curriculum will help us to best meet the needs of all of our kindergarten students. That's how we attack it.
Okay, but Sandra, let me ask you a question right there. Pardon my interruption, but you brought up a really interesting point. You said we. Now, I'm assuming there's like a board of people that get together and make a decision. What is it, majority rules, or do you all go out in the alley and fight over who's going to win? How do you settle that?
No, educators are not fighters. You know that, right? So we actually, we do discuss. We research, we analyze, we look at best practices, and then we democratically come to a conclusion.
Oh, my. Are you still there? Evidently, I got cut off, too. Oh, boy.
We're sorry.
Oh, you're sorry.
Decision for the district.
I don't know if you knew it or not, Sandra, but I was cut off somehow by the illustrious phone companies in this area, and I missed a little bit of what you had to say, but I believe your voice was still on the air, which was really great. You did a good job answering that question.
Okay, thank you.
One of the things that you mentioned earlier, and I want to pursue this a little bit, you mentioned physical education, and this is one of the things I'm really sticky about. I absolutely think that we have got away from physical education. I think it should be mandatory. I think it should be absolutely no less than 4 days out of 5 per week. If they're going to yell, scream, and holler about obesity, and they're going to change the dietary mechanics of what kids are going to be allowed to eat in the school, then by golly, they ought to have physical education too, because you need that along with a good diet.
Right, and I think you are right. I think that as students are young, in the younger grades, you know, they also have that recess time, which is very valuable time because it does help them to release some of that energy. And we all know, research does show that physical activity does enhance your brain activity as well. So very important that we allow students to have those opportunities. And I do believe that is something that's valued in Cassia County as well. You know, the physical education piece of it is an important piece, and it is required, you know, throughout for graduation and different things like that at different levels.
When you establish a curriculum, let's talk either whether it's kindergarten all the way on up into high school, and you have all the books and everything, does that mean that once you establish it, you as a group also have to go through and basically take the course by reading all the material to make sure that it's appropriate and fitting for what's going to be taught?
Absolutely, and part of the vetting process that you're just talking about, Zeb, actually occurs at some of our meetings. That's why we meet for about a full year, almost a full school year, before decisions are often made, because committee members will take different vendors, and they will take the textbooks, and they will take them home and research them and study them and look over them And that's part of the process that we go through before we make a decision as to which resources are best going to serve the needs of our students.
When you check these textbooks out, whether it's a history course or a math course, excuse me, with the new innovations with Common Core, I mean, have you ever had the opportunity to say, no, this textbook is not going to do the job, and literally bounce that one out of the school system and look for another that's more appropriate?
Absolutely. I think that happens. I don't know, because I haven't been in Cassia County, this past year. I couldn't speak for Cassia, but I do know districts have done that, have said this textbook or / resource, as we call them a lot of times, is not meeting the needs of this grade level. Sometimes we don't actually just toss it out completely. We say what grade level does it need to be at, and we move it, to a different grade level that is better suited for those standards. But yeah, I think that school districts, absolutely, it is a moral imperative that they say this is not meeting the needs of the kids, and have the right and the ability to say, we're not going to use it, we're going to try something else.
What?
Because bottom line is we have to decide what is best for kids, all kids. And that might mean that we have to say that book is going to sit on the shelf for a little while until my kids are ready, or until it does meet the standards that we believe it is meeting, and then we can use it as a resource.
What, last question of your job as curriculum director. Once the curriculum's established, what do? Just sit in your office all day and eat bonbons and watch Oprah, or what else do you have to do?
Well, that would be like the ideal world, would it not? But no, I visit classrooms. I make sure that the curriculum is working through pre-tests and post-tests. And so I have to keep in touch with all of my leadership team that helps to establish the meetings and the committees, and who helps with the purchasing. We all have to continue to work as a unified team in order to make sure that the curriculum is being followed with fidelity, and that it is the best curriculum for our kids. We are human, and we believe that it's the best when we choose it, but if we don't have some benchmarking, some follow-through, some accountability in the classroom with the curriculum and the students and the teachers, then we're missing the boat. And so that, again, would be my job, is to make sure that accountability, fidelity, maybe they need extra training. We might start in with a new resource, a new curriculum, and all of a sudden we're thinking we need somebody to come in and train us on how to use this part of the curriculum. Because textbook companies these days have so many options for teachers. I mean, there are all kinds of resources, and sometimes we may need to schedule training. I may need to have somebody come in and train. I will be trained right alongside of the rest of the staff in the district, so that I know what I should be looking for when I go out and visit classrooms, or when I talk with leadership teams or department heads. I need to be knowledgeable in all of those content areas as far as the curriculum that we're using is concerned. I don't have to be a master teacher in them. I just have to know what the curriculum is and how it should look in the classroom, and the results it should be yielding for us. And if it's not yielding those results, then we need to do something different, and that would be where I step in again.
Wow. I mean, you are the lady for the job. I can see that. I take my resistol off to you, and I salute you. You really know what's going on. Sandra Miller, thank you so much, and come back again in the future. The Curriculum Director for Cassia County Schools, very well stated, and I enjoyed talking to you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
All right,
and
God bless.
I'm excited to join the team in Cassia.
All right, thank you very much for being on the program.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Sandra Miller, the Curriculum Director, new Curriculum Director for Cassia County. And, of course, Cassia County School Days is brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Drive in Burley. School Days in Cassia County. Thank you very much. Excellent. Hey, by the way, I mentioned earlier this morning a couple of times, and it's the way it's going to be on Monday, June 16th. 16th, we're going to be over at the grand opening of Snyder's Surplus, 112 South, 200 west of Rupert. We're going to be broadcasting the whole morning over there on Monday, June 16th, 8 to 11. They're going to have all kinds of sales, new store, new merchandise, friendly service. Looking forward to meeting and being with this family. Snyder's Surplus, grand opening on Monday, June 16th. We will be broadcasting there live and direct. Right now, I'm going to get Gina on the phone. Gina, did we find Randy, or is Randy off serving the public? And I lost Gina.
Randy is off serving the public, and he's at jury duty.
Oh, really? Oh, my goodness sakes.
With the lovely ladies over at Tires Les Schwab in Burley, and so they informed me that he is not available.
Well, so what do you want to do for 5 minutes, kid? You want to just twiddle your thumbs?
I'm sure that we could come up with something to do. Oh, and you know what? We do have one more pair of tickets to give away to the Mini Kaja Auto Collection car show coming up this weekend if you want to give those away.
I could do that. Let me think of a question here real quick. Okay, here's an easy question. Question. Okay. Clint Eastwood was a television star before he became a big movie star. And he played Rowdy Yates on the TV series Rawhide. What was this is a little tougher question. What was the name of the actor that played the trail boss Gil Favor on Rawhide? That was a very big TV show back in the 60s.
Are you asking me this question?
No, because you can't qualify for the tickets, lady.
Okay, so basically call in if you know the answer then.
436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, it's not that tough. Name the actor that played the trail boss Gil Favor on the TV series Rawhide back in the 60s. And if you don't know it, I'll give you some clues. Just give me a call quick.
I have to Google it.
Yeah, well, I know the answer. I got it right in front of me. And anybody that knows, give me a call, 436-2244. I might even help you with the answer just to get you some tickets. So call me right away at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587 for this big Classics on the Grass car show at the Cache County Fairgrounds this Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 5 both days. Do we have a call?
No, nobody's called in. I think that question might be too tough.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, here the phone calls come.
Okay, here we go.
One right here.
Caller number 1, you're on the air. What was the name of the actor?
Caller, turn off your radio.
Turn off your radio, please.
Was it Clint Eastwood?
No, I just said Clint Eastwood played Rowdy Yates. Who was the actor that played the lead in the TV show? His name was Gil Favor, but what was the actor's name that played Gil Favor?
Yeah, me some.
Okay, well, we'll take the next caller. Thank you for calling. Caller, you're on the air. What's the answer?
That's Eric Fleming.
Who is this?
This is Lane.
Lane who?
Vaughn.
You are a winner, and I want you to stop over to the station and get your tickets for Classics on the Grass. It was Eric Fleming, and he played Gil Favor, and, of course, Clint Eastwood played Rowdy Yates on Rawhide. Sounds like you're up to speed on all your Western trivia. You get those tickets.
Played in that movie, too.
What was that again?
I say Sheb Woolley played in that, too. Ben Coulter.
That's exactly right. Sheb Woolley was one of the trail hands, and Paul Brinegar played the cook, the crusty old cook. Remember that?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. It was a great series. Thank you for your call this morning, Lane. You're the winner. Stop over and get those tickets.
You bet. Thank you, sir.
All right. You're welcome. That man knows his Western trivia. I'll ask Gina, did you know who Eric Fleming was?
Like I said, I had to Google it. No, I did not.
Okay. And do you know how he passed away?
No. On a horse?
No. He passed away and he drowned while shooting a movie over in Africa. He drowned.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know.
There you go. You're talking to the Encyclopedia of Westernology.
And that would be you.
I would hope to imagine. I'm going to put my robe on and sit at the head of the class.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to turn it over to you. We'll be right back after this break. Zeb at the Ranch. Don't go away.
And Now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Thank you very much and welcome back. And I understand that our guest has a limited amount of time this morning that he can share with us. And we have Mr. Tim Graham on the telephone with us. And Tim, of course, from back east is going to be with us, I believe, on behalf of CRC Public Relations, and we say thank you very much for being on the program. Tim, this deal with Bowe Bergdahl, the president, and the releasing of 5 Muslim terrorist killers, this story, as I've said many times this morning, is unending and growing. It seems to be growing like a potted plant in various directions. It's getting bigger every day. What are your thoughts?
Well, as with many Obama scandals, it grows for a while and then they find some reason to walk away. I mean, we would have said the same exact thing a week ago about the VA scandal. It's growing, it's branching, it's going to get bigger. They release Bowe Bergdahl or get him free. In a sense, I think it's pretty fair to guess, in a way designed to change the subject. President flies to Afghanistan, and they release Bowe Bergdahl, and the whole theory here is to change the subject. Well, they've succeeded in that. The VA scandal doesn't have the same visibility now. So the question is, will this continue to grow, or will they just find another story? Will it be a hurricane or something that they can say, oh, now we can leave this story behind?
Tim, how much more can the American public absorb, I mean, before people start to be more outraged than they are? I mean, a large percentage of the American public couldn't care less about politics, and some of the men...
started to really hurt George W. Bush in his second term. The Hurricane Katrina won, this whole controversy.
Not going to work, Gina.
Those sorts of stories ate away at Bush's approval rating. This, in a certain sense, is what we've seen before. Although obviously the media's treatment of these presidents is dramatically different.
You know, Tim, I was cut off just for a second. I apologize. I had to re-establish our line into the station. I do it remotely from my ranch. I apologize for leaving you hanging. I was going to ask you the question of the American public. You know, we seem to look at this story. Many people are concerned about the president's actions as far as being almost illegal, if not illegal. We're looking at 5 Muslim terrorists going back to their homeland now, possibly going to open up operations against more Americans around the globe. We're looking at Bowe Bergdahl, his father, Robert. We're looking at all the troops that gave their lives to try to find Bergdahl. This story, I think, could be the straw that breaks the camel's back as far as against Barack Obama. Do you think it has that kind of power?
I think it has the potential to be damaging in that these are matters like the VA scandal that go beyond party lines. It's one thing if you have a sort of an interpartisan fight over taxes or health care policy or immigration. This is a military matter. This is a war on terrorism matter. One of the reasons the coverage is as harsh as it is that there are Democrats who are very upset about this, like Senator Feinstein of California. And that split in the Democratic coalition means that I think that reporters who want to be more independent of the president are going to go ahead and do so. So we had this question the other day where the ABC White House reporter was asking, can you please explain to us why it is that Susan Rice, the National Security Advisor, would say that Bergdahl served with honor and distinction? Where did she get that? So, I mean, that was an uncomfortable question to answer. And so, I mean, that is one of those things that will make the coverage a little bit tougher than we might expect.
Tim, looking at this entire situation with Bergdahl and then going to the president with the possibly illegal or illicit means of turning these prisoners loose, constitutionally he should have gone to Congress. He superseded Congress, acted basically as a dictator, and then using our tax dollars to move them to Qatar and then basically assisting the enemy. Are those impeachable offenses for this president?
Well, I think that you can certainly look at the last impeachment, which a lot of people felt was deserved for Bill Clinton for lying under oath. I think the problem you have with these things is that in the current environment, there's no way the Senate would vote to impeach or vote to convict any more than there was back in 1998, 1999. You have a hardcore partisan Democrat side that is not going to give in to that. I mean, people will say, remember happy days of Watergate when the Republicans really wanted to get to the bottom of things. Well, that is certainly a different Republican Party than we have a Democratic Party now. One of the things that's funny about liberal media bias is they try to tell you all the time that today's Republican Party is so much worse, so much more extreme than it was maybe in the good old 1970s. They never want to focus on how much more dramatically ideological the Democrats have become because they agree with all of that.
Tim, what about and I know you got to run, and I want to basically give you enough time to get to your next appointment, but I want to ask you one more question. What about the State Department and the Department of Defense with Chuck Hagel, whom I have not very much respect for, their diminishment of the soldiers that served with Bowe Bergdahl? They're basically saying, well, they don't know what they're talking about or they're wrong. I know a State Department official said that the other day at a news conference. It looks like they're trying to whitewash what Bowe Bergdahl was in favor of that releasing of the 5 Gitmo terrorists. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, this is the most damaging part of the Bergdahl story for the administration, and that is these are people who served with Bergdahl, and these are the people that are angry because they felt that after Bergdahl walked away, that suddenly the attacks on them got more effective. So there was a feeling there that Bergdahl was assisting the enemy in trying to get them killed. And so those people are not seen by most people as some sort of Republican Party operatives. They have tried, yes, inside the administration, to use these liberally loaded words like they're swift voting Bergdahl. Well, this is the same controversy we had over John Kerry when he ran for president in 2004. And that is that for a man's former comrades to come out and say, I think this guy is a fink, they're basically suggesting it's unpatriotic for soldiers that you served with to have an opinion that's contrary to the hero of the day. And in a weird way, the Obama people still want Bergdahl to be seen as a hero, or at least they want it to be a big mystery. And it's not a big mystery. I mean, and every reporter knows it's not a big mystery. Every reporter can see these notes he was sending to his father about how embarrassed he was by how awful the things that America was doing in Afghanistan, which sounded a lot like what John Kerry was saying when he was running around to television shows in 1971, that the only thing that America was good for in Vietnam was to kill cows and civilians. That is not a way to build support with your fellow soldiers.
This story probably will go on for some time and overshadow Benghazi, overshadow the IRS, and, of course, overshadow the VA. But will it be, in your opinion, something that will have some definitive results against the Obama administration and absolutely hurt the Democrats at the fall of this year, 2014, for the election?
Well, I think every pundit in Washington is going to say that it does not look good for the Democrats in the fall at this point. And I think this is one more thing that makes it look like it's going to be a bad year. That said, I think it's always important to realize, yes, that all of these scandals that we can talk about and that we keep, when we find a new development in these scandals, we try to bring it to people, is they're trying every day to overshadow these scandals with something else. So, right now, in the last 24 hours, we're having gauzy stories about Hillary Clinton granting an interview to People magazine, and they're going to overshadow Bowe Bergdahl with that kind of stuff. So, there's always every new newscast in the morning, every new newscast in the evening. For a while now, they are going to have that obligatory Bergdahl story, but I think that, again, we're going to see over time, they're going to try very hard to bury this one like the other ones.
Tim, I want to say thank you. I know you got to run to another appointment. I appreciate your being on the program this morning. Tim Graham, God bless you. It's been a long time since we've had you on the show. Thank you for your insight on this Bergdahl story, and we'll be back in touch. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, bye.
Thank you, sir. Gina, I've got the line that is being fed to me is VoIPing really bad, so what I'm going to do is ask you a favor before we do the weather. If you could just put a little tune on real quick, I will call you right back and see if I can't get a better line than I can hear on, okay? A little bit of green onions right there. Hey, that's a lot better. Gina Jameson, thank you very much. I appreciate that girl over there. She does a great job. Time for the weather, and we're quick. I wish I could have had this line when I was cut off on the previous line. I don't know what the problem is. And you know something? I've called PMT. I've called CenturyLink. They put in all new equipment and everything else, and we're still getting cut off, and I want answers, and I don't know why. It's got to be frustrating to everybody listening, but it's also very frustrating to me. I'm paying a lot of money for this program, and I don't like being cut off. The weather is brought to you by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, your hometown meat cutter, and they've been serving southern Idaho for over 20 years, and they've got a summer barbecue special of 50 pounds of beef, pork, and chicken. You're going to love it. They guarantee everything they sell, and you can call and order a marinated tri-tip for any occasion. That is delicious. Selling taste one bite at a time. That's Scarro's Meats. You be sure and check it out. Give them a call, 324-7657. Here now is Michael Rogers Weather.
Hi, everybody. Michael Rogers from MichaelRogersWeather.com. How many ways can you say it's going to be sunny for the next 7 to 10 days? How many ways? How many ways? I gotta get Gina to sit up there and just go, sunny, 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 sunny. Yeah, she sounds pretty good, too. Look for a high today, pretty much in the 80s, all the way across the board. And I want you to have yourself a great weekend. And if you find any way to absolutely say how many ways you can say sunny, feel free to do so. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
Thank you very much, MichaelRogersWeather.com. Brought to you this hour by Scarro's Meats. Really nice people. Don and the rest of the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. Selling taste one bite at a time. Oh, boy. Here we go. I'm sorry that we had to cut Tim Graham a little bit short. He had another meeting to go to, and so we appreciate him and sharing some thoughts on the Bergdahl situation, the Obama situation, the congressional situation. This has turned into a huge mess. We've got kind of an open forum right now, so give us a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Well, I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in. Don't forget a couple of good old boys from Declo. Who are a couple of good old boys from Declo? Well, I'll tell you, they're Brent Anthon and Matt Darrington. They've teamed up for Anthon Darrington PLLC, 601 7th Street in Rupert. Phone number to call, 260-5280. They absolutely practice law in the areas of wills and trusts and estate knowledge and ag law, water law, farm leases, purchases, anything and everything to help answer your legal questions. You give these guys a call. Brent Anthon and Matt Darrington. Anthon Darrington PLLC, 601 7th Street in Rupert, 260-5280, serving you.
260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-5280. 260-52
Am I on finally?
No, I cut you off again.
You did? Why?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
You just got cut off. I don't know. It was the phone again.
3 times, and I don't know if it's PMT or CenturyLink. I don't care. I got to get to the bottom of this. It's very frustrating, and it's not fair to my audience, and it's definitely not fair for what I'm paying. And I'm going to make some calls to PMT and CenturyLink and find out what is going on. It is not the problem, I believe, at the station, so we'll find out what it is. Did my commercial for Anton Darrington get on the air, or was I cut off at that juncture, Dina?
You were cut off right there at the very end of it.
Oh, well, then I'll just tell them again. People that know the law and can help you. They practice law and they can answer your questions. Anton Darrington, PLLC, and that's 601 7th Street in Rupert. Number to call, 260-5280. There. You know, I better cool down. I'm mad right now. I need an ice cream cone. Do you like ice cream? She's gone. Don't tell me I got cut off again.
No, actually, Jerry's talking to me about, some possible solutions just so we can double check.
All right, good, because I'm not going to stand this much longer. Paying too much money to be cut off the air 3 times in a half an hour. That's ridiculous. The calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a jingle on the landline. A couple of things I wanted to mention. And the car show, Jimmy called earlier, and I want to remind everybody about the Classics on the Grass. That is really going to be something to see. They're going to have almost everything represented there this weekend at the Cassia County Fairgrounds. Cars, boats, motorcycles, tractors, bicycles, pedal cars. And it's just going to be a family type event. So don't forget the Classics on the Grass car show. And that's this weekend, 7th and 8th. And the gates open up on Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday 10 to 5. Don't you miss it. Well, I don't know if Gina's still carrying on a conversation over there or not, or if she wants to talk to me about what she's going to do this weekend, or if you're not going to do anything this weekend, you're just going to take Kennedy and go to the beach, or whatever you're going to do.
Honestly, I think we might go do something fun. What it is, I have no idea yet, but maybe we'll go bowling. I think bowling sounds like...
You don't go bowling in the summertime.
Oh, heck yeah.
No, you got to be outside. You've got to be playing croquet. You've got to be playing lawn darts, and don't use your son as a lawn dart.
I would never use my son as a lawn dart.
Well, I was meaning that facetiously. You've got to sit outside.
You have thoughts sometimes. You have thoughts.
You have to sit outside and eat ice cream, and you got to let it dribble all over you, and you got to get sticky in the hot temperatures, and then you got to take the hose, and you got to wash yourself off. And I mean, that's part of being outside in the summer.
Well, I think you just set my whole itinerary for the weekend.
No, I'm telling you what, ice cream. You know, I don't like candy. I'm not a big lover of cakes and pies, but boy, do I like ice cream.
Oh, I love ice cream. And peppermint ice cream, mint chocolate chips, Jamocha almond fudge.
I haven't really found a flavor that I don't like.
I don't like ones with a lot of nuts in them.
Oh, I do. I do.
Especially walnuts, because walnuts make my mouth itch. But
excuse me just a minute.
Yeah.
They make your mouth itch?
I'm slightly allergic to walnuts.
Well, then don't eat them.
Well, I know, but sometimes you just can't help it.
Well, I mean, you look kind of weird on the radio trying to scratch the inside of your mouth, don't you?
You do. Thank God nobody can see us, inside the studio.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, ice cream in general. My favorite ice cream, and you're going to probably think, oh, man, that doesn't sound that good. My favorite ice cream is a real strong vanilla bean.
I love vanilla, and that's my son's favorite, actually, is just plain old vanilla with maybe a little bit of chocolate or caramel sauce. Ooh, baby.
You forgot strawberries.
You can do strawberries.
You know what you want to do is...
You know what's really, really good?
What's that?
If you put grape nuts on it.
Grape nuts?
Grape nuts.
On ice cream?
Yep.
Never heard of it.
Grape nuts and a little bit of hot chocolate powder.
Oh, now, lady, you're talking about building a sundae here.
Oh, yes. We've got a quick phone call.
All right. I tell you what, we might have another ice cream lover on the air. Good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Zach, you say you don't like cake. I seen you inhale a piece of German chocolate on Sunday.
Sir, may I remind you that this is my program, and I don't like somebody calling up and telling me that I said the wrong thing. Yes, I did inhale a piece of German chocolate cake. Yes, it was a delicious 3-layer German chocolate cake. But yes, there was no ice cream available, so I did eat the cake and possibly another piece.
I just had to remind you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Skinny, Dave Zanino.
Gotcha.
All right, buddy. Thanks much. You know what? I know. Yeah, Gina, we were over at his wife's birthday party this last Sunday, and I do not know who made that 3-layer German chocolate cake, but it was absolutely fantastic.
You know, I love German chocolate cake, and I love the frosting, that coconut caramel-y kind of frosting.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that is my favorite. Now, if you could put that on ice cream...
I don't know why you couldn't.
I'm sure that you could. Maybe I just need to go to the store and buy a big old thing of just that.
Did you ever think, and this goes back into my inquisitive mind, you know, I'm always interested as to how things came about, but how, when they replicate flavors, how do they replicate flavors so that it tastes the same, supposedly, to everybody?
Lots of taste testing.
Well, I know, but how do you tell somebody it tastes like this or it tastes like that when your taste buds might be different than mine?
Because why are you asking me scientific questions? I have no idea.
You're mumbling and stumbling because I stumped you.
You did, too. I mean, I would say in general, you know, most things would taste generally the same from one person to the next.
Well, how do you know that it doesn't taste like peppermint to somebody and taste like Hungarian goulash to somebody else?
Well, you could say it tastes just like chicken. Did I lose you again? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Don't scare me. Okay, now we've got 2 phone calls.
All right, we'll take one real quick. Fast call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Am I number 1?
I hope so.
Hey, I was just going to tell her that she needs to go try a blizzard. It's a German chocolate blizzard.
Ooh.
And a cream pie blizzard.
Oh, my.
Oh, my is right.
Hey, listen, Doug, thank you. Next week, bring one for her and one over here to Murtaugh for me. Thank you for your offer. We'll hold you to it.
Well, the one to Murtaugh might not make it because it would probably melt, so it'd have to be drank.
Take a cooler. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
See you later. Caller number 2, you're on the air. Go ahead.
If you guys are wanting to do the German chocolate cake and ice cream, just make you some cake pops. Just make it up like you regularly would, and then make it into little balls.
Oh.
Throw it in the oven for just a minute so it's just ready, and then set it up in dip it in some chocolate.
Oh.
Roll it into the German chocolate frosting. And then drop that into your ice cream blender with the ice cream. Oh, man.
Hey, now listen, we've got to get this on paper. Callers, stay on the line. Gina is going to put this down as one of our ice cream recipes. And then, of course, sir, we want you to make us a sample and have them available next Thursday right after the program so that we can sample them, okay?
We'll try and put something together.
Try doesn't cut it, sir. You must do.
Well, somebody's got to take care of these cows then while I make ice cream treats.
Well, I'll tell you, make sure that you wash your hands from working with the cattle to making the ice cream treats. Yes. But by golly, we're looking forward to this one.
That's flavor. That's flavor.
Okay.
You don't want to take away from the flavor.
Thank you much for your call. Have a good day. Oh, thank you. Hey, I got to pay some bills here real quick. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, John on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley with the best free peace of mind tire protection and, of course, free lifetime tire and mileage care and the best of tires. All the different tread designs. Of course, they've got the best in brake service and front end alignment, shocks and struts and batteries. It's all there, but service always reigns supreme. They take care of you at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see them today. Easy credit plans available. You stop in your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Gina, I've got to get ready to run. I hope you have a great weekend with Kennedy and James.
You do the same with your lovely bride and have a a wonderful sunny weekend, just relaxing on your back deck.
Yeah, and tell Jerry if he can figure out what the problem is. I'd appreciate it. And
you didn't go off the air, so what we were trying to test, we won't know if it's here or not. We don't think it is, but next time I'm just going to test something out, and then if you drop and if this particular scenario plays out, then we know what it is. But if it doesn't play out the way we think it will, then we don't know what it is.
Oh,
that make sense?
That was really like an Alfred Hitchcock novel. Who's on first, what's on second, and I really don't care who's on third. Thanks, Gina.
Out of here. You're welcome.
All right. God bless everybody. We'll see you next Monday at 8:06. Zebeth Ranch, the way things were, the way things ought to be. Have a great day. We'll see you next Monday.